This thing keeps going. This has been an incredible supercell. Let me go out to Chase Rutledge real quick, because if you're looking at the bottom of your television screen, you're like, what is on fire? Chase, what is on fire here?
Yeah, Damon, this is right near 23rd and Portland, it looks like, as we get a little bit closer. I think when we zoomed in, it almost looks like some sort of oil battery, oil tanks like we saw back there just north of Hinton. But as we kind of we're coming up over the smoke right now, and we get around on this this east side, Damon, we'll be able to get a better idea of exactly what this is. You're seeing this live from Sky 5, a number of fire agencies on the scene right now, as this is a massive fire that is completely out of control right now. I can tell you a lot of these fire crews are keeping their distance, because this is one of the biggest fires we've seen in the Oklahoma City area in a long time, Damon. And I'm trying to actually find out exactly where this is, but this is really close to Rockwell and 23rd and Rockwell, so just underneath us. You can see here. I'm pretty sure back at the desk they'll be able to find out exactly what kind of structure is here, but it very much looks like an oil well if we zoom in just a little bit more. But man, so many flames and so much smoke that we could see the smoke for miles as we were coming into the Oklahoma City area. Damon?
Chase, can you feel the heat off of this?
Well, Damon, if I stick my hand out the window, I actually can feel the heat quite a bit. I mean, a little bit, and you'd have to with this much flame coming off of this thing. This is right near the Bethany Water Tower. So if a lot of you in this area know exactly where that is, but as we continue to make our way around to the right, look at these flames and smoke rising up from this area. Jonathan, this could be a dangerous situation for those people in this area. I wouldn't be surprised if they start an evacuation.
This is huge. I mean, this is big. So Chase is on a fire that there's been so much lightning out there. Wouldn't be surprised if that's from lightning. But let's go back over to the radar, because this storm continues, still dropping the hail. You can still see all that black here from Calumet towards Concho. So they're basically all of our chasers right now. There's Nick watching this storm here, moving to the east down to the southeast, still watching the big hail that is moving down to across northern Canadian County, and it's getting closer and closer towards Piedmont and eventually towards Edmond. This storm, the strong winds and the circulation tracking to the east and maybe even a little bit more down to the southeast, headed towards El Reno at 9:27, Yukon 9:51, Bethany at 10:06, and then War Acres at 10:08. Right now it's 9:11, so the sun is set, and there's your strong winds right there. Those would be probably close to 70-mile-an-hour winds. This storm is going to have some pretty strong winds, tornado or not. There's going to be some pretty strong winds that are going to surge out of this, and so this is going to come pretty close to Nick Smith. He's going to be very close to Union City, but big winds here, large hail north of I-40. Jonathan, if you don't mind, switch it over to storm impact. I just want to see what the hail is doing in this. And
There's a pocket over Calumet.
Yeah,
it's very significant.
It's still going, and then here's a shear marker.
But you notice it's really detached. So there's a big gap between the RFD winds coming around and the hail core. So the hail core is kind of stationary over Calumet, but that would come into El Reno. But still really concerned. I mean, big hook, I don't want to say ball, but big hooks. That means, again, strong inflow. There's clean air, it's humid, but dry air is being pulled in, it's cutting away, and that's called the inflow notch. It's that big gap between Shane and Storm Command. Those guys, these are, I mean, the professional chasers. They're in the sweet spot for seeing anything. If something drops, it's going to be backlit, a lot of lightning, but really dangerous storm. Big hail on the north side, north of 40. So that's going to be Calumet to the Lucky Star Casino. Big inflow notch, right? And then damaging winds sweeping back around the backside. Sometimes when on the backside of the hook, you can get some hail coming with what's called roof length downdraft. So the storm is so tall, it pumps up hail up to 50,000 feet, and the hail on the backside as it's coming down, there's warm air wrapping back around, and that it pulls hail from the front of the storm to the back of the storm because this updraft is splitting, and it will slam that hail into the ground sideways with a west wind. That's exactly what I've highlighted with these blue arrows. It's going to be Reno Road, 15 Southwest. The roads kind of change depending where you're at in the county, but 29th Street Southwest, so we're going to have to watch for that.
We will. And so it looks like a tornado warning will be extended. There it is right there. And this does come up to Oklahoma City. So brand new tornado warning for Canadian and Grady County. This is now moving to the southeast at 45 miles per hour. So new tornado warning across Grady and now Canadian County. So this new warning now includes Yukon, Mustang, Tuttle, Minco, Union City as well. And this is picking up speed as it moves down to the southeast at 45 miles per hour. So, and this warning now goes until 10 o'clock. Right now it's 9:15. So we anticipate that the storm will probably coming up to Oklahoma, Cleveland, McLean County here, probably shortly after 10 o'clock. We're hoping, again, I wish I could hope this storm away and make it fizzle out, but it's still going. It's still dropping hail. Concho, 917, golf ball size hail. Union City, or El Reno, 919. Union City, 925. Yukon, 936. Mustang, 940. Here's your area where the winds are going to be tightest and most likely produce a tornado. We're south of I-40, where Jonathan has circled with the blue. And there's also some strong winds that are surging out with this cell right now. As a matter of fact, let's go with the storm
warning in the West Oklahoma City metro. Jeremy Carter is right there, along with Val Castor, Tom Pastrano, Hank Brown. They're all out. Brandon Pennell watching this as it scoots across, and it's really moving to the east-southeast now, and that's what it looks like in his shot. Let's go back to links, and we'll keep these shots up, and I want to show you what it looks like on radar. We're not seeing a tight area of circulation, maybe becoming, that's what Jeremy was looking at, a little more organized, just to the west, northwest of the El Reno airport. This is now south of El Reno and moving to the southeast, but the winds feeding into this is going to be the RFD. This is the wind that's feeding on the backside, trying to kind of undercut the circulation. Damaging winds close to 80 miles per hour. And we're not hitting this very high up now. We're hitting this in the low levels within this thunderstorm and within this circulation. So the wind punch that you're going to get out of this is very hefty. It really is. What does shear rate look like now, Cassie, with this? Okay, we're seeing that tighter circulation now that is going to be to the southwest of El Reno, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 miles, and it's just a few miles south of Val. Let's zoom in and get the streets on for folks in Canadian County. This is now Fort Reno Road, okay? Fort Reno Road and Reuter Road is kind of
in the I-40, maybe a little bit further south than I-40. But did have a nice blocky looking wall cloud back in there just before we hit the city lights. So we're coming through El Reno now, so we're kind of obscured and don't really have much of a view. But here, getting ready to turn south here, and we should be able to bust right down to I-40 and get back out in front of it.
In here for a little bit with team coverage continuing. Mike Morgan is here with me. This is Aaron Brackett. We've got John Slater out there following this live. Corey Inman, as you just saw. This is how it looks on Links 1 right now. Here's Oklahoma City, as we've been watching. A lot of hail and a very heavy rain just kind of fanning out from the north side of this. And, of course, you can see, again, there's that stinger tail right there. Might be some rotation kind of wrapping in on the backside of this. Let's go ahead and take a look at this in 3 dimensions right here. So we're going to kind of take an x-ray. It's kind of like when you take an x-ray of your body when the doctor does that. You can see inside. You can see what's going on day or night. This is really powerful. So we can actually go closer in, and you can see right here. We're going to turn off the lightning because you can really see inside of this here. So what you're seeing is the inside of the storm. This is the hail core. So here's I-40 right here. This is Canadian County. This is all the hail being lofted up and down. It's going to come into El Reno. See, these tops are quite high right here. So there's still a ton of upward vertical velocity. And then as we look at the storm, the tail part of it, where the rotation is, that's where we're watching, again, that rotation, the possibility of developing tornadoes with that tornado warning that continues. So you've got warm, moist air coming in right here, south of El Reno, and there's still quite a bit of energy with this, high dew points, and then all this hail and rain-cooled air that's wrapping down the backside.
On one side, it gets lopsided, and then it evens out. If this is real, this would be winds to 90 miles per hour from Reno Road to 29th, all the way back down to Southwest 59th Street, okay, to the west of Highway 81. Damaging winds. Jeremy Carter is right there. He's looking at an area, kind of a lowering that you're seeing in the lightning flashes. Jeremy's very near that area of just extreme winds right now in Canadian County that are pushing to the southeast. And if you start to get hail within that, that's a damaging, very damaging hailstorm. And we know we have hail, so we keep going back and forth from the circulation to the hail. Let's go back to the north now and show you where the hail is. Really concerned about folks. Least you're going to do is lose some power, lose some electricity for a while, and I hope you don't have structural damage with the winds. Not a tornado at the moment. It's not on the ground. Our trackers are all looking right at it. If you start to see any funnels, any tags even, let me know, trackers. But the hail has passed through
and toward the Union City area. Let's go back to links here and take a look at, again, the velocity, the spin right here. Quite a punch of air coming into Union City. This is all going to be 60, 70, 75 mile per hour wind punching in, and that's going to try to wrap this up south of El Reno and Highway 81 to possibly try to form something out there. Do we have John Slater with us? Meteorologist John Slater is out there. Let's go over to him.
Hey, Aaron, we're down here just to the southwest of Yukon here. We're looking at that storm. We can see the circulation on radar. It looks like it's trying to spin up a little bit. We are just a couple miles south I-40, Cimarron Road, and we're looking off to the west-southwest. Don't see any power flashes, lots of lightning right now. We're watching the circulation closely. We're going to stay ahead of it as it moves into the metro. Aaron, back to you.
All right, appreciate that. We'll come back here to links, talk to Corey Inman coming up in just a second. Here we go, as again, tornado warnings do continue up to El Reno, just up to Union City, and then up to the Oklahoma County border. This goes until 10 o'clock. So the storm is not really moving that fast. We've still got another 40 minutes left of this ongoing tornado warning. We've been talking about lightning rate, so we're going to turn lightning back on. Here it is. Here's the lightning counter. So we're going to let you see that right here. So notice the strikes right here. They kind of went down. Now they're coming back up again. So we were in the lower 300s. Now we're up toward the 400 range. And the positive strikes, that's important because positive strikes, you get a lot more of those with a healthy supercell. So that has come up. We're watching that very closely. So the lightning rate's actually coming back up after temporarily going down. And you can see that right here. Split screen, left-hand side of your screen. That's Mustang right there. And the lightning flash is coming up quite a bit. Steve Johnson, if you get a chance on that computer, could you widen out the Mustang shot just a little bit?
To get closer and closer. And so with this storm right now, Jonathan, how's the rotation? How's the, yeah, here you go. You got your Doppler winds here. How's the rotation tracker look inside this thing?
So I'm, again, a little bit nervous here. On a scale of 1 to 5, I'm at a solid 4. And I know for a fact, so there's, and I'm, okay, let's say 4.5. I'm going to trend it up 1. Between I-40 in Union City, there's going to be a swath of very strong damaging winds. These are RFD winds, okay? And these are going to have hail with it coming in sideways, all right? So your westward facing windows are going to get trashed. The circulation, I'm going to circle it, is going to be right here, okay? So there may be power flashes. You may hear a chaser say power flash, whether that is from a tornado or from rear flank downdraft winds, which is a straight line damaging winds rotating around the storm. This is the terminal radar. It's a great radar. The FAA uses it for looking for wind shear, like a microburst, right? But I'm gonna switch over now, and Damon, that is a big, I wouldn't say ball, because I don't know if there's a tornado there right now, but I think we have a high risk of that happening here. So this is gonna cross over Highway 81 in just a few minutes. Again, Michael's there right in the notch. Shane's right there, Nick's right there. I think we really need to get these guys talking a little bit more, because they're visually going to see if a cone comes down, there's a lot of lightning, they'll be able to talk a little more about it. But like normalized rotation's pretty high. So I have major concerns about this as of right now.
I agree. And Jonathan, zoom on out here just for those that are downstream, because if you're in south sides of the metro, so basically, here's downtown Oklahoma City. The way that the storm is going, is it's starting to pull down to the southeast. So I'm looking towards Bethany, to downtown OKC, to South OKC, down to Moore. Very concerned about the threat for this storm that it's going to have. So if you're basically from downtown Oklahoma City, South Oklahoma City, Moore down to Norman, Blanchard, Newcastle, we are watching this storm closely for you as it
northwest. And like I say, right now, this is the area that means business. There's a big lowering here, but I don't see anything right now that's telling me that it's an imminent tornado at this time. Back to you, Lacey.
Okay, you're right there, right in the heart of it, Hank. Thank you so much for that update, looking right at it. The least you're going to get is 80-mile-an-hour winds and power outages out of this. Hope the winds don't get much stronger, but you can see he's looking right at it. There's not a tornado on the ground, but the circulation could tighten up. That's why our trackers are right there with it. Let me show you the winds now.
Hank's seeing power flashes now.
Hank is? Who was it?
Hank has
Hank,
power
go ahead,
flashes.
Hank.
You got power flashes just to the south of us, so we are just now getting hit with the wrap. Another one just in front of us. This is coming right into Union City. Another one right there. 3, 4, 5. 5 power flashes right in front of us. Another one 6. We're south. We're north of Union City, heading south on 81. Just about that 80, 90-mile-an-hour wind you were talking about. I did not see a lowering that tells me tornado. I think this is straight-line wind power flashes, but we just saw 6 to 10 power flashes from Reno. Golly, the wind is screaming right now. It is probably, if you can see out my windshield, I've probably got 80 or 90-mile-an-hour winds, horizontal rain, and I haven't seen a power flash in the last 15 or 20 seconds. But just when you cut off from us,
Right.
Patty started saying, hey, power flashes, and we looked, and we've seen 6 or 8 coming into Union City right now, 80, 90-mile-an-hour winds. Lacey, back to you.
Hurricane force winds. That is hurricane force winds. It's like a hurricane on the ground. That's what's coming through.
Radar. Look
Canadian
at the
County.
Mustang camera right here. This is going to be at the stadium, right there at the Broncos Stadium. And you see the supercell literally coming into Mustang. You're looking right at it. There's a lot of features right there in the lightning. You can see a big, giant inflow tail right here coming in right there. This is all inflow. This whole updraft right here is spinning like a top right here, and that's where the hook is located, right in through here. It looks like a spaceship. So look at what we call this structure. Look at the structure in this. Really amazing to see what's going on in the atmosphere right now. If you look at that visually, it looks like a spaceship in the atmosphere. And it's pulling in a lot of really warm and humid air from the southeast. Big inflow tail right there, right into that rotating updraft. That's an amazing view right there from Broncos Stadium over there in Mustang. Let's go back over to Corey Inman. Again, tornado warning ongoing, Union City. Mustang, tornado warning. Here's his night vision camera. So, Corey, no power flashes. Is that true?
No, haven't seen any power flashes. Just pulled over there to take a step out of the truck and kind of look around. Don't see anything that looks like a funnel or a tornado, and we haven't had any power flashes at all. So it's right here behind us. So if it does do it, Mike, we're gonna be able to pick it up here with the night vision. But right now,
Mustang getting ready, like just knowing where you're gonna go.
Yeah, you're right. And so we're talking to Nick. We have Nick. We have Buck. We have Storm Command. We have Shane on this. Again, if you're just now tuning in, again, tornado in between El Reno and Union City. This is about 4 miles or so north of Union City, tracking down to the southeast. At this current track, it's headed down towards the airport, and then coming into South OKC and into Cleveland County here. That includes more, again, with this storm as it's going down to southeast. Jonathan, how's the rotation tracker look on this out of TLX here? It's got to be getting pretty hot. Oh, yeah, it definitely is here. And so hate to see this. Again, Nick, there's Shane. Let's go out to Shane right now if we can. Shane, what do you see?
Well, Damon, we were watching what was the lowering, but that was just right before Nick saw the power flashes. And from our location where we were at, we couldn't see the funnel or anything like that. Now, we are right here on the north edge of Union City. So we're gonna keep a real close eye on it. We're actually turning around right now so we can see it. I will say that got some pretty heavy rain in it too. Here we go. Here's lowering right here. If you can see it in the lightning. And I am going to zoom in just a little bit for you. There's the lowering right there. It is a big, wide, huge, massive lowering. It is just unbelievable. If this thing was to make a tornado right now, like what we saw back over by Custer City and stuff, it would be huge. So hopefully it doesn't do that. Hopefully it just stays like it is now. So back to you, David.
And a couple of things that we're probably going to have happen across the metro is that this is going to be all three hazards: tornado, straight line winds, and large hail. And so this storm has it all as it's coming in right now. And so as we're watching the storm here, from the tornado side is going to be north of Union City. The hail side is going to be north of I-40. And so if you're watching in Yukon right now, here you are on the radar. And so Yukon, the hail side of it is going to come towards Yukon. The tornado side of it is dropping down towards Mustang. And so if you're in Canadian County, anywhere from, say, like Piedmont to Yukon, you're going to get the hail side of it and some pretty big hail as well. Again, at least probably looking at golf balls. The tornado side of it is going to be running down now east of Union City, northeast of Union City, and that's headed down towards Mustang. And so this storm is still rotating as it's moving down to the southeast. Let me go back out to Storm Command. Let me go back out to Michael here. Michael, what do you have? Michael, what do you have?
Yeah, Damon, I'm not seeing any additional power flashes since that initial just flurry of them right there northwest of Union City.
So when you see this green start to loop back and fold over onto itself, right, and it tries to grab that red and pull it back into the circulation, that's the mesocyclone trying to focus its energy. And when you see that, you see it visually happening right there. It's going like that. That's the mesocyclone tightening those winds and focusing that energy. It's what you don't want to see. And these hot green colors, there's damaging winds in there, 70, 75 miles per hour. So there may be power outages. So you should stay away from windows in through here. Mustang. So John Slater's on Mustang Road. He's literally right about here. So we're looking right into the hook right there, and there's a couple of localized areas there where it's trying to focus into what we call a TVS, tornado vortex signature. It's making an effort to do that. It's not very far away from it. That's exactly why there is a tornado warning out. There's OCCC. There's Will Rogers right there. So you see that really hot red and hot green right there. Let's go to Corey Inman. That is making an effort to produce a tornado right there. Corey, on the northern side of that hook. Yeah, on the there you go. On the northern side of that hook, it's trying to produce a tornado right now.
Yeah, that's right where I'm at, Mike. It's right behind me here. I'm on Reno Road. Let me give you my exact location.
About 3 miles south of I-40 is where this would be. 3 south of I-40. It's on the northern side of that hook.
I'm on Reno Road, and I'm at the intersection of Reno Road and Manning Road, and this it's right back over, right behind us here. So the velocities have really ramped up here the last couple of minutes.
Damon, I am almost into Mustang, looking directly west with my 360 cam, which is behind us, and we're seeing a lot of lightning, and that's about it from where we're at. But we are out in front of it. As we come into the Mustang area, as it moves in here, we'll be ready for it. Back to you.
Okay, and this circulation is getting tighter and tighter.
Southwest 29th, it's basically coming right down. Southwest 29th Street between there and Southwest 44th, and it's currently at Evans Street, and it goes basically, the damaging winds are going to come all the way over to 92, which is Cemetery Road. So that is the area of damaging winds. Some of our radar estimates are 80, 90 to 100 miles per hour. All of that may not be reaching the ground, but if it is, that is very strong, very dangerous, damaging winds. That's the strength of a low-end tornado, and that's going to be a straight line wind. Not seeing a circulation at the moment. Let's go back to reflectivity, and I'm going to show you the hook with the storm, and we'll zoom out.
It feels like it got really hot here,
okay.
Almost like a heat.
We'll go back to Hank. We know he's talking about a heat burst. He may have had one. We know we had a heat burst earlier up near Hillsdale with some 90-mile-an-hour winds. We'll get to that part of the state in just a minute. Let's zoom out just a little bit if we can here. And this is our live radar. Here's the hail core, which passed by El Reno and went to the north, now coming down towards Richland and Banner. And look at the hook, how long the hook is. okay, that's trying to extend out away from that storm. And if we lapse that, let's see what the motion is now, Cassie, as it's moving. Yeah, the storm itself is drifting to the east, maybe a little bit to the south, but definitely the damaging wind punch is pushing to the east as the RFD or the winds come back on the backside of that hook and push to the east. We'll see what it does. Let's go back to let's look at hail detector and just see if the hail core has come down. I don't think it has. No, we're still getting very large hail from El Reno down to Banner. Damaging hailstorm. This is going to be really, it could be millions of dollars of hail damage coming out of this storm today in Canadian County, and it's coming towards Oklahoma County. All right, let's go back to velocity data, and we'll show if we're looking for any areas of circulation. Not seeing any areas of spin at the moment with that. Oh, there, it's tightening up, guys. This is tightening up. We could get a tornado out of this. Let's zoom in. This is going to be just to the north of Hank, and the circulation has localized now over Banner Road, right over Banner Road and Southwest 15th. This could be a tornado developing now. This circulation is going to be to the south and to the east now of Brandon, southeast of Jeremy.
This storm is dropping some big hail that is going to be right along I-40. So hail side up to the north, up by El Reno, tornado side south of I-40. This is dropping down into south side to the metro and into Cleveland County, but this circulation is getting worse in the sense that it's tightening up. It has strong inflow into this, so this storm is still spinning just southwest of the Clarence E. Page Airport. To put that in perspective, that is south of I-40 and just a little bit west of Will Rogers World Airport. You can probably see down here, there's Yukon. We're just southwest of Yukon here. Here's Yukon.
We're going to have to blast here, but definitely a large elephant trunk tornado on the ground coming into the south side of Yukon.
Okay, let's double box this, put max 2 in here. We'll squeeze this back for just a minute. Yeah, let's not. Leave it full. Yeah, so look at the debris cloud. Look at the debris cloud. This is a strong tornado, folks. Look at the debris cloud. It has doubled in size just in the past 30 seconds. This is coming into southwest and south Yukon. Everybody in Yukon should be in their tornado safe spot. Look at that debris cloud getting much, much larger. Go, Corey Inman, Yukon. This is dangerous.
Yep, yeah, Mike. Still on the ground right behind us here. Just trying to blast east so that we don't get run over here. Large debris cloud at the base of it. This is coming in. This is maybe a mile from the southwest side of Yukon. We're going to get obscured here by some trees, but tornado continues on the ground. Tremendous amount of inflow blowing into it. So doesn't show any signs of weakening right now.
Cimarron Road, Frisco Road, Cimarron Road, Frisco Road, Cemetery Road, Check Hall Road, Mustang Road, Southwest 15th, Reno, Southwest 15th, the Kilpatrick Spur. Everybody down through there, the Kilpatrick Spur. Get in the safest place you know. That's a decent-sized tornado with a big digging debris cloud on it. That's a serious tornado. Go, Corey Inman.
Yeah, Mike, still continues on the ground here just behind us.
It's very dangerous. It is a large tornado. It is doing damage. You can see the circulation all the way down to the ground, the debris lifting several hundred feet up into the air. Don't lose that shot. We're going to leave it. Cassie, can you put her on debris detector right now? I'm looking at exactly where this is. Jeremy's not in El Reno. Jeremy is south of El Reno.
We have debris.
Okay, let's look. Let's look. Okay, so we can see this. Obviously, it's doing damage. Let's go back to velocity data. We're just looking at things while you're seeing the tornado so we can give you the exact location of where this is. And it looks like, Jeremy, is it lifting north? Jeremy, is this lifting to the north?
Yeah, Lacey, listen, there's a ton of debris lifted up. This thing is really a powerful tornado. I mean, it's a dangerous storm. It's probably strong enough to knock out. I would classify it by looking at the motion on the sides, probably at least an EF3, maybe even an EF3. Definitely strong tornado now in the metro area. Back to you, Lacey.
Okay, thank you for that update, Jeremy. We're getting the exact location for folks. It looks to me like it's lifting to the north. This is going to be Reno Avenue now. It's crossing Reno Avenue, and it's crossing Banner Road. It's crossing Banner, and it's going to the northeast. It is definitely on the ground. This is coming up towards Reno and Cimarron Road now. Reno and Cimarron Road, you're next. It's just to the southwest. This is in the Oklahoma City metro. This is south of El Reno, and this is lifting kind of to the northeast. It really is. It's lifting almost to the northeast. Jeremy, can you tell me the direction that this thing is moving as you're tracking it to your east? Okay.
Brandon's right here with me.
Okay, we'll check back in with Jeremy here in just a second. Jeremy, you've got the shot of it. You've got it up for sure. It
Wow,
looks...
multiple vortices.
Okay.
Lacey, take a look at that.
We can see
multiple
it.
vortices. We're within probably literally a quarter mile of it. We're going to be able to see what kind of damage you see right close. Yeah, this thing is powerful. Watch this. I'm going to take up and look at the base of this thing. I mean, a large stone funnel literally right here. I don't know if you can hear the wind, but take a look at these vortices. It's pretty devastating tornado if it was to hit someone. Lacey, back to you.
It is. This is a tornado warning. This is a confirmed tornado. If you're just joining us, this is south of I-40. Jeremy Carter has it live on the ground right now. Jeremy, Brandon, Val, Hank, they're all right there on it. This is crossing over Reno Avenue, and it's already crossed Banner, and it's going to be tracking to the northeast. This is going to be very close to the Clarence E. Page Airport. It may track and go a little bit more to the right, a little bit more easterly, but right now, that's where it's located. It is still on the ground. It is still doing damage. It's lifted to the north, and it may start to make more of an easterly turn. Cassie's working on the storm track right now. Do you have it there, Cass? Okay, let's go to links real quick. We're getting Jeremy's shot established. If any other storm tracker has it, just let me know.
Condensated,
okay.
But I would still treat. Oh, it looks like it's coming back down. It's condensating back to the ground right now.
Yeah, and you know what, Nick? I mean, we got to treat this thing is on the ground. This thing is big, and so you saw it there from Nick earlier. And so this is a very large tornado right here, right in the middle of your television screen, doing damage. We are just south of I-40, and this is going to be very close to the Clarence E. Page Airport. This is still in Canadian County. But this storm is still going. Nick, are those power flashes right here?
Yeah, we're getting power flashes. It's coming into a more densely populated area with, I'm not going to say it's houses, but there's more power in this area. So it's starting to hit those oh, wow, it's getting bigger, Damon. It is getting bigger again. It's back to about a stovepipe. Wow.
Yeah.
What I think was happening is it spun back up into the hook just a little bit, but it's moving back. It looks like it's moving more to the east-southeast right now.
Okay, Nick, we have your shot live here again. This is near Clarence E. Page Airport. We are in Canadian County right now. This is a large tornado. It is still on the ground, and it is doing damage, I'm afraid to say. This thing is big. And so moving to the east here, let me see here. This thing is, it's erratic right now. It is probably jumping around a little bit, which means that if you're anywhere from, say, Yukon down towards Will Rogers World Airport, this tornado.
Mustang blast east with it, Mike.
Okay, over to Max 2. We think it's still on the ground. It's weaker, but we think it's either lifting right now. It's weaker for sure, but it may still be on the ground there. It's lifted slightly north. So it's in between Reno and Northwest 10th Street, just a little ways to the west of Check Hall and Frisco roads out here. Let's go to Corey Inman here. Corey, it's not moving very fast, so it's still on the west outskirts of Yukon right now.
Yeah, and it's just north of Reno Road there, Mike. You can see it in the center of the screen. Still have the cone there. Still appears to be on the ground. We still have constant power.
Yeah, for you and Jonathan, the actual lowering for the tornado, just the lowering portion of the meso of the tornado or the storm itself is actually, it looked like a second ago it had a huge bowl-shaped lowering that was spinning by it. I'm afraid this thing is getting stronger still. Wow. So right now, it's still to my northeast. Right now, just where I'm at, I'm on the east side of Mustang on 152. It's back up to my northeast. It looks like it's still moving just slightly east-southeast, just a little bit right now. Back to you.
Okay, and so, Nick, we're watching your shot here. Again, we can still see the tornado there, and this storm continues to slowly move. It hasn't really moved a whole lot. I mean, it's almost kind of stationary just southwest of Yukon and southeast of El Reno. But there's the tornado right there, still spinning, still rotating, and this is very close to I-40 here. Let me get a different perspective. We're going to keep Nick's picture up. Let's keep Nick's pictures up. Let's go out to Michael. We'll keep Nick's picture up here because he has a clear shot of the tornado. Michael, what do you see?
Yeah, Damon, there's a new circulation that's forming on the leading edge. The old one is about to occlude, although it may continue on like the other one did earlier. This storm will produce potentially multiple tornadoes at the same time. It's not out of the question. The new circulation has not quite spun up yet, but there's a lot of rain falling ahead of where the old one was, and the storm is starting to surge to the east pretty fast.
And so, still watching the shot here, and there's a lot of lightning in this, so you can still see the tornado. So we're still getting a healthy visual on it. It's right here in the middle. This picture here, again, coming in from Nick Smith, but our crews are out. Buck, Shane.
And put the camera on it. They're on us. It's right there. Okay, the tornado, it's almost right above us. It's just to our northwest. We're getting hail. It's still doing damage on the ground. I'm going to have to stop here because we're getting real close. I need to find an open spot. This thing has done a lot of damage. We went across a damaged path that was at 15th and Banner Road, and there was sheet metal everywhere. There's power lines right above us here. The tornado looks like to me, there it is. You see it in our shot? Can you see it at all when it lightnings? It's there.
Yeah, you can see it, Val.
Okay, Cimarron, and we're a half a mile north of Reno. The tornado is west of Cimarron Road. It is on the ground, still doing damage, and it's going to be maybe a half a mile to 3/4 mile north of Reno. So that is, and it's moving more east-northeast. I'm going to back up a little bit, but I think it's it's just barely north of us, northwest of us. And I can still see it all.
Notice it's not moving very much, and it has lifted slightly more northward. We're talking about a slow northward drift to it. But that's the debris cloud, the debris being lofted. And you add on the neighborhood city streets right here, you can see it's just to the south of I-40 by about 1.5 miles. The debris cloud was more pronounced about 5 minutes ago when you saw that big debris cloud being dug up from the tornado. That's when it was a really hot debris ball. But it's still there for sure. There's no doubt about it. There's still debris floating around with that vortex still in contact with the ground. Again, there are your streets. There's I-40 right here. This is the far western sides of Yukon right here. Let's go back to Corey Inman.
It's about on Cimarron right now. It's straight north of us. It's crossing Cimarron Road, straight north of us.
Okay.
I got to wait till it lightnings again, but I believe it's right on Cimarron Road at the moment. And boy, it's hard to see this. Okay, power just went out. It might be whatever this is. Reno.
Okay, Val, let me show you radar real quick. And I'll show that location that you're talking about, Val. Let's go back to Link if we can.
There's a new area back here that's beginning to develop, a new inflow notch that is just south of I-40. Here's El Reno. There's Union City. We've gone backwards. It's almost like this storm kind of spun up a new area of circulation, and it's a little farther west now. And so at this current track, Yukon at 9:51, Bethany 10:15, Wheatland at 10:31. That's for this area of spin, assuming that it's moving to the east still in that 20 to 30 mile per hour range. But again, tornado warning has not yet been extended into Oklahoma or Cleveland County or McLean County, but we're still in Canadian County here with these storms. Here's El Reno. Here's the tornado. We're about 4 miles south of I-40. This is the old area. This is the new area that's beginning to develop. Who was that? Was that? Okay, let's go back out to Nick. Nick, what are you seeing?
There is a lowering back there. We saw it a few minutes ago.
Okay, Shane, we have you live on KOCO right now. Shane, what do you see?
Okay, Damon, that area that's just to the southwest of El Reno and to the northwest of Union City, where we're talking about there's a possibility of another lowering or something, I'll confirm it had a lowering moments ago. We were on a hill and we could see that, and we were talking about it before anybody else actually brought it up because we were sure wondering about it, but we were just far enough away we couldn't absolutely be for sure about it. And then all of a sudden we realized, yeah, that's a strong lowering, and we're heading back that way right now. We're going to go see if we can get underneath it.
Trying to, loosen up there. It's starting to wind down a little bit.
I don't know where the tornado is. There's so much rain, but we can hear it. We have damage going on. Right, sheet metal and tin all over the place on Cimarron Road, right where I told you it crossed. You're seeing big debris in the air. We're seeing big debris in the air to our north. Big debris in the air to our north. And we cannot see the tornado right now. It's completely wrapped. We can hear it. Our winds from the south. Oh my goodness. A big piece of sheet metal almost hit us.
I saw that go right over
on the ground.
Truck, Val. Okay.
Did you see that?
I saw that. While you're looking at that, Val, we want to talk about the other circulation. It may be producing a tornado, Val. Back to your west. So Val, Brandon, Jeremy, Hank, Tom, I know you're listening. Another area of circulation. It's not as strong, but over Radio Street and 1070 may have been another brief tornado. Let's go back to links. Cassie, let's look at that.
Well, look at the velocities, and that's where the tornado was. Everything got really hot, produced the tornado. It likely is gone. There's no indication of any tornado there at all. That secondary circulation also has weakened north of Union City. So the trend right here, there are the city streets, there's the Xerox plant, there's I-40.
With the blue circle, let's go radar full just so I can draw. The first circle on the right-hand side, that's the area of circulation. It's right over Clarence E. Page Airport. This is highly trending down. Now, there could be a tornado in there that's roping out, absolutely. So I would say Yukon, tornado shelter. It's just, we're going to ride the storm out. But let me back the radar up. Look at the difference. This is where I was getting really nervous, right? That's at 9:35, so was that 15 minutes ago, and now that's all we see. So there may be a roping out tornado about 3 miles southwest of downtown Yukon over the Clarence E. Page Airport. That is the old tornado. Possible new tornado forming back to the southwest. It's going to be south of 40, about 2 miles east of Highway 81, 2 miles south of 40. This is going to be Reuter Road and Radio Street. That's the area of circulation that I'm watching right now. But I will say this, Damon. It really popped there. Like, I'm going to back the radar up right there. That was at about 6 minutes ago. And that has deviant motion, like it hooked back to the left, and it has weakened. So this is good. This is a downward trend with the circulation, with both those areas circulation, Damon.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Within a mile, so we're right around the circulation right now, but I cannot see it, and I cannot confirm it's on the ground. Back to you.
Okay. Can't see it, but you know what? So many folks are without power. About power outages in a minute, and I'm not seeing on radar anything confirming. Any of you guys, anything at the moment confirming that this tornado is on the ground southwest of Yukon? Yukon, right now, it looks like it moved to the north. It took a north jog. It was coming right to town, and it weakened. And I'm not seeing it. Trackers can't. Safe spot cannot say that you're completely in the clear right now. Go back to links. That was. No, and it was very clear. It was very apparent. We were calling it. It was on the ground.
Let's go to Eric Dixon here, looking at the latest situation in Canadian County. Ongoing tornado warning here. Go, Eric. Let's go to John Slater here live. John is between Mustang and Yukon. Go, John.
Hey, Mike, we're on Santa Road. We're heading back south. First circulation that produced that tornado looks like it was weakened, like you were talking about, and we are trying to position ourselves back ahead of the one.
Oh, it did.
By El Reno, the one farther back to the west. So we're going south right now. We're getting some pretty heavy rain. We're going to track this next system coming in from the west. across the area. Back to you. Bye.
Okay, so a lot of heavy rain, a lot of hail coming into Oklahoma City. Let's go back over to Max 2, and a lot of heavy rain, a lot of hail here, a lot of dime, nickel, quarter go.
So they're going to extend the tornado warning. It's going to include parts of the Oklahoma City metro.
Okay.
Now. So they're going to bring it farther off to the east. So that will include parts of OKC metro. Folks are probably going to start hearing sirens.
Okay, there you go. So parts of Oklahoma City are going to be under a new tornado warning. The problem is a cycle right here. See this? There's a cycle going on down by Mustang. So that's the problem right there. So heads up for you folks in Cleveland County, Moore, South Oklahoma City. So there's going to be a new tornado warning coming out that will be including much larger portions of Oklahoma City. So you're going to hear the sirens go off, your phone's going to go off, and that's going to be happening here momentarily. And there's a cycle occurring down here by Mustang. The hail sizes are not as big. That's very much a certainty. There's none of this 2.5-inch diameter hail in here. This is all dime, nickel, and quarter. There might be a few golf balls sitting in here. There might be a few golf balls. Bethany War Acres, down toward Hurricane Harbor, the State Fair complex, downtown Oklahoma City, coming through Yukon now, Lake Overholser. There may be a few golf balls. So there's going to be some pretty big hail. It's not going to be giant hail, but there may be a lot of pretty big hail in central Oklahoma City and south Oklahoma City. Let's go back over to our team of trackers. The next cycle, guys, is developing now basically over.
That's going to be right over Lake Stanley. I'm sorry, not Stanley, Overholser. But brand new tornado warning coming in. And here it is. Might be spinning up down by Western Heights.
Yeah, David, there's another area of circulation down here. Here's the hook where Nick is at.
There it is.
Another area.
It's just north of Mustang. Let's go out to Nick right now if we can. Nick, we're seeing a brand new area of circulation about 1 mile north of you, Nick. Coming into OKC.
Yeah, Damon.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, so Damon, we're at Sarah Road and 152, and we've got wrapping rain curtains. Oh, it actually stopped, so I think it's in front of us a little bit. But Damon, this thing is definitely. It just seems like it's been a little bit. It's accelerated a little bit. It's been a little bit harder to see. It's wrapped up in the rain. The rain has surged out with it. We've been noticing that. A little bit of outflow with it. I think it's actually the RFD that might be wrapping around it. So it's very interesting how this is all evolving, but it's not a good situation overall. Back to you.
No, it is not. And Nick will be talking quite a bit. Okay, so let's keep their shots up on the left. But here's the outlet mall. So here's Western Heights High School, and then here's Will Rogers World Airport. And so tornado warning now coming in for Oklahoma City. So we're about to probably hear the sirens. And so if you hear the sirens, you are in the warning. Again, these are going to be, they target the sirens. They don't hit all, but this is probably also going to go down into Cleveland County as well. And so we're probably just seconds away from the tornado sirens going off in Oklahoma City. But here's your area of circulation right here, north of Wheatland, just south of the outlet mall by about 1 or 2 miles. This is going to be just west of Western Heights. Let's go out to Nick. Nick, go.
Damon, I saw a tornado to my northeast right now. It's just a little bit to my northeast. I saw it. It was on the ground. Oh man, it's so hard to see in here, but I saw it just for a brief second. I got some lightning and I was able to see it. Oh man. Okay. I just treat this as a tornado on the ground for anybody that is. I just passed the Swadleys and also the Lowe's here, and now I'm coming up. We're coming up to Morgan Road on 152, and it was to my northeast. So it was on the ground. I could see it for a brief second.
Okay. All right, Nick, we're going to be talking to you again. We had the storm surrounded, but let's show exactly where this is. Let's go back to velocity here. This is going to be just 1 mile west of Western Heights High School here. We're going to be just south by about 1 mile of the outlet mall, just south of I-40. This is tracking to the east here, and so here you go. The tornado warning just issued, and so this is going to include. Let's see here. Downtown Oklahoma City, down to Moore and Norman. Here. Once again, where is the tornado right now? It is going to be south of the outlet mall. And so let me show you who's included in this warning right here. And so because a lot of us sirens are going off. You're hearing them going off. Moore, you're in the tornado warning. Norman, you're in the tornado warning. Downtown Oklahoma City, you're in the warning. Edmond, you are not in the warning. Here's a tornado. It's just west of Western Heights High School. That's just a few miles west of Will Rogers World Airport. Here's your circulation, very close to where Nick is. Let's see here. Let me go back. Let me go at the Storm Command. Michael looking right into this. Michael, what do you see?
Yeah, this is what we were seeing when that other tornado developed. We got the hook echo that was developing on the leading edge as the other tornado was still in progress and then eventually dissipating. So we are coming up on Airport Road. We're going to come up here to MacArthur. We'll get a high spot and be able to look for power flashes. I am seeing some flashes, but they may be lightning. It's interesting. We're not getting as much lightning around the storm, around the base. So now we're starting to really watch for power flashes as we're looking for these tornadoes. So as we get a high spot here, we're going to find a place to pull.
Looking at Doppler, it looks like it is getting a little bit better organized. So it's, again, a cycle, and it looks like it's kind of on the uptrend right now. We're going to stay ahead of it. By the way, the sirens have been going off here, so you're going to hear those tornado warning sirens. And we're watching that circulation coming in from the west-southwest. Aaron,
okay, appreciate that. We're getting reports now. Sirens are sounding in Moore. Sirens are sounding in Norman as well. And here's what's happening. The tornado warning, yes, it now includes Oklahoma City, areas of Moore down toward Norman. And here is Will Rogers. So Wheatland right here, Will Rogers. We're going to push in just a little bit right here. So again, you can kind of see that notch coming right in here. This is Highway 152. Rogers, here's I-40, here's that notch. We're going to look at velocities right here. So watch as we had the tornado kind of dissipate and occlude near Yukon, and then now we're starting to see it come back again. See the red and the green right here? This is 152. Here's Wheatland, just north of that. So folks in Mustang, this new circulation is now just off to your north and east, continuing to pull into parts of South Oklahoma City. So there's downtown. Here's 44, 152. Will Rogers is right there. So right there, that's Airport Road. Will Rogers is right there. So it's coming right into the airport right now as this continues to kind of ramp up, moving farther off toward the east. It's not moving too fast, moving real slow. So here's radar again. You can actually watch and see this notch coming in here. It is right there near Wheatland. So when you see this notch on radar, what we're looking at is we're looking at winds coming in. These are moisture-rich winds, a lot of energy, and then the storm wrapping around with all that energy kind of pouring in, and everything becomes a big sink drain. It starts to spin. So we had that tornado that we brought to you live just a little bit ago off to the west that has occluded back into the storm, and now it looks like we're trying to wrap up and do the same thing again as it moves a little bit farther off to the east. Let's go to Corey Inman. He's watching this real closely. He had that fairly significant tornado on the ground a little bit ago. Corey, you got your night vision. Tell us what you got.
Yeah, Aaron, coming through Mustang now. I've got the camera pointed off to just to the north and the northeast, up into that area of rotation, and not able to really make out anything with the night vision because of the city lights. So as we get through here, we should have a better view of it. But right now, actually looks like we may have power flashes just to the northeast of Mustang. I kind of got a shot there looking over the trees. Looks like we may have some power flashes just to the northeast of Mustang. Give me just a few seconds here.
All right, we'll come back to you in just a second. Let's go to the Mustang camera right now. Mark Dillard kind of moving off to the east as we're getting reports of power flashes. Mike Morgan on deck right here.
Yeah, Aaron, it looks like we'll go over to Max 2. Let's go over to Max 2. It looks like there may be a tornado forming on Max 2, basically right over the airport, literally right over the terminal building at Will Rogers. Right in this little notch right here, Southwest 44th Street, and about Council, over to about May Avenue, down through 44th and 59th, and 74th and South 89th, right over Will Rogers.
Will Rogers World Airport, it's coming across. It's a really pronounced lower. Damon, you can kind of see it there in the lights. This is going to be moving right across from really just, we're right at Airport Road and MacArthur, and so it's just south of us, and it's moving from west to east. I know it's kind of in the lights there. I'm going to try to catch it as it comes out of those lights, but rotation is picking up again on terminal Doppler. It looks like another tornado is imminent, I would say, any moment, and it very well may be on top of Will Rogers World Airport or very close to it.
Yeah, especially looking on the north side of the airport here. Looking up, Sabrina, by the way, if you don't mind, if you can get our OCCC camera. If you can.
It's offline.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So here's what we're looking at right here. So very close to Storm Command. This is the airport, by the way. So we're on the north side of the airport. Here's the Dell campus, and you can see that hook, that inflow notch is increasing. And so at this current track, I'm looking at South Oklahoma City, right along I-240. Between I-240 and, say, the Oklahoma River, this part of the city is where the circulation's coming through. From Oklahoma City up towards around, say, Penn Square Mall, you're getting hit with some big hail out of this storm, golf balls at least. So once again,
and so we'll see what happens out of it. Tom's coming in as well. Tom's in a great position. Let's turn on reflectivity, Cassie, and see how rain wrapped this thing is, or if it's kind of hanging out a little bit. There's the hook. Tom's got a great view of it. Tom's coming up at I-44 and Airport Road. Tom, this is to your southwest 2 miles, and you're looking back to the southwest. What do you see? Tom Pastrano? Okay, we're checking with Tom.
Lacey, yeah.
There you go. Ahead.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
That's all right.
Yeah, so I'm looking over the airport towards the southwest. I can see the core. I don't see any power flashes. I don't see any features that look like a lowering or anything. But, yeah, I know it's coming towards me, and I'm going to kind of stay here for a few minutes. And I know there's a feature towards my southwest. I'm going to look for that. Back to you.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to show radar of what you're seeing, Tom. Let's go back, if we can, to Storm Shield 9. And that hook that you're seeing is the feature that Tom is talking about. It's right there. Hank and Brandon are right in the circulation as well. That is right where shear rate is showing the circulation. Our trackers are right underneath it. I mean, they really are. That is Will Rogers World Airport, OCCC. Here's downtown Oklahoma City, and laps this, Cassie. Let's see what the track is. It's headed because it's been moving easterly. It's still moving more easterly, isn't it? Yeah. Yep. It is moving more easterly, so this is going to be coming over towards Valley Brook and eventually Del City, Midwest City, and the Tinker Air Force Base if it continues. This could easily drop further to the south. So north sides of Moore, tornado warning continues. If you're just joining us.
Was it a Sunday night, 10 o'clock? Hopefully there's not a lot of people out there. But that's where the tornado would be. If they see power flashes, they're going to yell. They're going to let us know. But watching that very closely. That's reflectivity. There's the velocity. It's there. I would put on a scale 1 to 5. I'd put it at a 3 right now. Watching closely. Okay. Now we're looking lower down on the ground than we are up at the mesocyclone. So now we're looking more at the true circulation, and it's not going to be real broad. So we have to watch. We have to kind of know what we're looking at with the radar here.
Yeah, for sure. And so, but where we're looking right now is on the north side of Will Rogers World Airport. Whether it's a tornado, strong wind, hail, we've got a lot going on right now across Oklahoma City with this storm. Again, tornado warning until 10:45. Where's your tornado going to be? Literally right on the north side of the airport. But this is going to track right along I-240, and it's going to make its way eventually out towards Tinker. So this is going to run across South OKC. But here, this is where your tornado is going to be located. From a hail standpoint right now, let me just double check something real quick, because it still looks like we're getting some pretty
we came back out in the clear air. Our winds are not overly strong here, so that would tell me that we've come completely out of the wrap. The circulation is going to be back to the and south, maybe just of the airport, just south of maybe like the Hobby Lobby 44th area. We're trying to reposition. We're going to get off on 59th and look back to the west-southwest and the northwest, see if we can find exactly where, like, maybe the lowering would be, and then take it to the east. Back to you.
Great update. Chasing at night in the heart of the Oklahoma City Metro is one of the toughest things you can do as a storm tracker, and our entire team is doing it, and they're doing it so well. So we appreciate you guys.
Suspicious right there. Let's go over to Max 2, and there's a hook there also. There's a hook located exactly the same spot. This is a bunch of dimes, nickels, quarters, and a few golf balls. But there's a large volume of it. We've lost the really big 2.5, 3-inch diameter hailstones, but there may be quite a few golf balls in this. 1.75, Bethany, War Acres.
Okay, Michael.
Dangerous situation.
Michael, we're looking at your shot right now, and so we're just on the north side of the airport. And so there's Nick, there's Michael. We have Buck, and we have Shane out on this as well. Watching these storms, watching this developing tornado. And so Nick and Michael, they'll let you know the second it drops. I mean, this storm has already produced a pretty big tornado out across Canadian County, but we're looking into South OKC. Here's downtown Oklahoma City. Here's I-240. Here's the airport. We're right on the north side of the airport. This is moving to the east here. This is getting stronger and stronger as it continues to move to the east. Let me check in with Nick Smith. Nick, you're right by OCCC. Looking at this, Nick, what do you see? What do you see right now, Nick?
Damon, so one thing that I've noticed is that there was a bunch of the lowering itself. I got a little bit further out, and the inflow actually really increased, and it brought around the rain. It wrapped that rain back into it and included. So I'm not sure if Michael's getting the rain yet, but we are definitely we were kind of blinded by the rain that wrapped back up into it. But it's definitely rocking the truck around with those winds. So it wouldn't surprise me if that thing is getting a little bit stronger right now.
So, Nick, we're watching your shot here. And again, we know we see you're on I-240 in South OKC. Let's go out to Michael again. Michael, from what we see from inside the storm, right over the airport, on the northeast side of the airport, actually.
Junction, we had some kind of debris blow across the road. I don't know if it was construction material or what. And I was taking about 80-mile-an-hour winds from the west. About the same time, Brandon was just a little bit east of me and said he had southwest wind. So the circulation right now is in the southwest side of the metro. It is between I-240 and I-40, just east of I-44. So southwest 44. Right where just a mile right here in the southwest 29th, and anywhere between there and I-240, that's where the circulation is, Lacey. Back to you.
Okay, great update there, Hank. Thank you for that. That's very precise. That's exactly what folks need to know of what you're seeing and the location. Let me show you radar of exactly what Hank and Patty are seeing. So there you've got it. You can see the winds over Will Rogers, the circulation coming right over I-44. There's Brandon, there's Hank, there's Southwest 59th Street. And I will say the circulation is getting tighter. It's still not to complete tornado mode yet. Tornado genesis may be happening, meaning the tornado may be in progress. We're starting to see stronger winds down to the south now. Cassie, what are some of these values coming out south of the airport? 60 to 70 mile per hour winds potentially there. And then feeding back up into the storm, we're getting winds probably 40 miles per hour, feeding back up into it. What does shear rate look like now? So it's not completely balanced, which is great. And so the shear rate is picking up. Okay, let's zoom in, Cassie, just a little bit tighter. There's Arthur Elementary School, Hillcrest Elementary School. We may have the tornado developing right here just to the west of Brandon, just to the west of Brandon. You were saying you were seeing that circulation, and it's going to be just near Will Rogers World Airport. That is where the circulation is. Let's zoom out, Cassie, and give folks an idea of where this is headed. You've got to be in your safe spot from Fillmore Elementary to Parmalee Elementary, back over to Valley Brook. Okay, this so you can see it moving to the east. It's moved from the northwest to the southeast and almost moving more of an easterly direction, which is going to cross I-35 if it keeps going over to Valley Brook. Over to Valley Brook. Cassie's working on the storm track.
So maybe that little location potentially right there could be potentially something related to lofting debris. There's rain all the way around it, but there's a weak spot showing possible debris right there. Again, it just crossed 44. Let's go back over to Max 2. So we're talking about everybody here in southwest Oklahoma City. There's power flashes now north and south of 240. So on Max 2 here, we'll show you the location. There's big damaging winds here coming around the south side of the hook as well. These may be 75 to 80 miles an hour. That may be some of the power flashes on the south side of 240. The tornado clearly is right there, and it's going to be basically southwest 59th and Pennsylvania is where it is. Southwest 59th and Pennsylvania. So it's heading over here toward Western Avenue, Santa Fe, and either side of Southwest 59th up to 44th, for example. Clearly, the tornado right there. There's damaging straight line winds on the south side of the tornado. There's power flashes south of 240. Corey Inman had the tornado cross I-44 about 2 minutes ago. So it's moving through South Oklahoma City right now. Go, Corey Inman.
Yeah, Mike, still eastbound on 240, looking back to the northwest. Haven't seen any power flashes here in the last minute or so, panning the camera back in there, seeing if we can find anything at all. Just not seeing any power flashes. So that tornado may have lifted, but we did have some weird winds.
Power flashes.
More power flashes.
There's more. Yep.
Okay, this is bad. Let me show you exactly where the tornado is, and then we'll go back out to Nick. This is going to be, so here is I-240. So OCCC is right here. We're going to be just on the north side of I-240 as you make that bend up towards the airport. So let's see here. We have, let's see, golf course.
I had about 5. I'm on 240 and I-35 looking towards the west. And I can see a lot of motion in there, but I don't see a tornado. But I did have multiple power flashes, so that means at least 80-mile-an-hour winds coming out of Oklahoma City. Kind of just looking for any kind of feature. But what I think is anything that's in there might be embedded in the rain. Yeah, I don't see anything on the ground right now, and I don't see any power flashes for probably the last 45 seconds. Back to you.
Okay, great update there, Tom. Excellent update from you. We know he can't see anything on the ground, but he does see intermittent power flashes, which means we got damaging winds. We know we have damaging winds coming out right now from the west. So let me show you Tom's shot of what he's looking at. He's in South Oklahoma City. Tom is right at Crossroads Mall. Okay, he's in Oklahoma City where that tornado warning does continue. And let's go back to Links 1, and I'll show you, as Cassie's going to look at some of the velocity data, just crossed Highway I-44 is what it is, and it's coming right down I-240. The damaging wind threat is coming right down I-240 from the west. It's a west wind blowing to the east. Get away from the west windows, okay? And this is going to be 70.
But this is a tornado moving through South Oklahoma City right now, through just north of I-240, and some really strong winds as well, surging out with this as well. Here's Crossroads Mall. Here's going to be, let's see here, downtown Oklahoma City is going to be right behind this banner. So if you are anywhere along I-240, between I-240 and Lightning Creek, you have to be in your tornado shelter, innermost room of your house. If you do not have a tornado shelter, there's also some strong winds that are going to run right down I-240 and across South Oklahoma City, just north of Sky Ranch Elementary School. Let me go out to Michael right now. Michael, give us an update from Storm Command.
Yeah, we're just keeping our eyes peeled. Still quite a bit of wind here, Damon, but it's in pockets. It's from time to time, and there may be enough wind to create some problems with taking down branches and causing some power flashes. It doesn't necessarily, it's not guaranteed just because we're seeing power flashes that it's a tornado. However, there is a hook echo, and this is pretty serious situation right now with the wind, the couples that we're seeing, and it's in a very, very densely populated area.
You're right. This is a very densely populated part of town. I mean, you're talking about some strong winds coming down. Now,
there's
the tornado is still
for sure, and that makes sense. Their shot went down, and everyone was very worried. So thank you for your concerns and your prayers. Val and Amy are okay. So very happy to report that, Cassie. It's a great update. We have storms that are still severe moving through Oklahoma City. The damaging winds are coming down I-40, basically down to Southwest 89th, and right through that swath, you could get 70 to 80. Now let's keep zooming out, Cassie. Let's go up and show some of the hail with this storm and what it's doing. Still very big hail. So the circulation is one story, and this is a damaging hail event.
Don't have any power flashes. Just some wrapping rain curtains here. We're gonna have to pull off here for just a second, Mike, and refuel, and then we'll be back at it.
Okay, let's go back over to 2. So continue to be in your safe spot. So it's moving to the east at about 28 miles an hour. It's pretty much going down 240 now. So some strong winds down on South 89th Street into North Moore. There's downtown Moore. There's North Moore. The tornado, if it's there, and we'll look at velocities here in a minute, is going to be very close to Crossroads Mall now, within a half mile of Crossroads Mall. And it looks like it's weakened some, but there's still the red and the green there coming together. So still not impossible to have a tornado sitting right there, basically, at Crossroads Mall. The velocities have come down, though. He was talking about wrapping rain. So there's a lot of rain embedded in that rotation, but notice the red and the green are not quite as hot as when it was producing a tornado when it crossed I-44 about 7 or 8 minutes ago down there by Southwest 54th Street. So those colors have cooled off. That's good. The tornado warning, though, does continue. And if we see a tornado, it's going to be over here toward Del Air.
So
and over toward the
if you're down in Cleveland County right now, you're doing all right. But if you're in Oklahoma County, this storm is coming right down I-240. So where's your circulation? It's going to be very close to I-235. I'm sorry, I-35 here. Let me just double check something real quick here. And here's your inflow into this right now. Heavy rain, by the way, and hail that's fallen from OKC and just north of Penn Square Mall. But otherwise, your inflow into the storm still continues to move to the east. Jonathan, have you seen any CC drops here?
Nothing looks real suspect, but Damon, I think the storm, between May, let's say between I-44 and I-35, so east of May Avenue, I think the circulation occluded, it got rain wrapped, and now I think it's cycling and it's trending back up. So I think we kind of really maxed out when it was over by Will Rogers, and then I kind of think we dipped down a little bit, and now just what I'm seeing on radar, I think we have a slight upward trend. I would say I-35 east towards Tinker Air Force Base, you're now, no pun, you're now in the danger zone. I hate to say that because,
yeah.
But I think it's trending. I think the storm is really starting to trend up here for Tinker.
And the rotation tracker is beginning to show that as well. Very close to Sky Ranch Elementary School. By the way, Will Rogers World Airport just had a 75-mile-per-hour wind gust as this storm went right over. That's a big deal. And so from a rotation standpoint.
And over toward the Tinker diagonal.
I usually hear the arcing inside my truck. These things are dangerous. If you ever come across the power line down, you really want to avoid that. Back to you, Lacey.
We have so many things going on right now, from the hail causing significant damage to the tornadoes that we've had and the debris right now in Canadian County, back into Custer County, from multiple tornadoes, down power lines to damaging winds, and we have the ongoing tornado warning as well.
A big debris cloud. It didn't move very much, which was good, but there were power flashes, and I had a big debris cloud. It was lofting debris. We showed that to you from Corey Inman's live stream. John Slater's down here as well. Let's get an update from John. He's been traveling and tracking this all the way out of Canadian County, now right into Oklahoma City. Go, John.
Hey, Mike, we're here eastbound right now on I-240, sorry about that, I-240 eastbound, south side of Oklahoma City, moving off to the east here. We're trying to stay ahead of it. We got a lot of rain, we got some wind, and we've been kind of looking for some areas of just some scattered damage. Haven't seen anything really significant so far, so we're watching it closely. Back to you.
John, thank you so much. That's 240 right there in South Oklahoma City to the east of Crossroads Malls, where that is right there. Let's go back over to Eric Dixon, get a ground truth from him. He's also very close to 240. Go, Eric.
Yeah, I'm just east of the Crossroads Mall area, about Sunny Lane. The winds have kind of let up in this area. We're kind of right there with the circulation, so we kind of expect the wind just to lay up just a little bit. There's a lot of upward motion in this area, but the lights are still on in this area, which indicates there's not any high wind event going on. Or
and Michael, you're on I-240. What's the scene look like from Storm Command?
Yeah, so I've got some wrapping rain curtains. This is kind of up. This is back behind me, so I'm just a little bit east of 240 and 35, coming up on Bryant. So that particular area, I'm watching for any lowering. Buck, I'm going to need you to mute if you could, please. And we're also looking back up toward Tinker Air Force Base as well. We're right in this area, so there's a lot of rotation in the storm, but there's nothing focused enough right at this particular second that I think that at least not that I'm seeing visually or seeing radar-wise, but there is a large area of inbound and outbound very near Valley Brook, just to the north of Moore, right, pretty close to where I'm located. So we're keeping our eyes peeled.
So the ongoing tornado warning is there for North Moore and over toward Del Air and the southern sides of Midwest City, in particular, the bigger hail basically in the Midwest City area right now. The hook is still very much there. It's pretty much on 240, maybe just to the south of 240.
And again, don't take chances with this storm. It will move east. It will get out of here, but we've got to to get through this.
And so it does look like a new tornado warning will be issued downstream from where we are right now. So that will take it basically up to Tinker. And then we'll see if it gets pulled into like Newalla and McLeod, because right now this tornado is going right along I-240, but we'll have to see if it eventually connects up with I-40. So headed towards Sooner Elementary School here at 10:28, Tinker at 10:36, McLeod to Dale, and then we're getting in towards Shawnee around 11:30. That's an hour from now. So the new tornado warning will be drawn up here as we're now getting over on the far eastern fringe of this current polygon. Again, here's Tinker right here. And so here's I-240. Let's flip it on over, if you don't mind, Jonathan, real quick. Just want to see what reflectivity looks like. It still looks like the hail core of it is going to be running from Oklahoma City up to the Capitol.
That's going to be in very narrow areas coming through Oklahoma City. We sure hate to see that for anyone that's got the hail. We've had so much going on tonight. We've had so many tornadoes. I think we've got, what, 5 to 6 tornadoes. And now we've still got the tornado warning that continues through Oklahoma City down to the south, basically the north sides of Moore. But looking at radar, there is nothing saying a tornado is imminent. There's not one on the ground right now. Our trackers are right there in the wind.
To the east at about 25 to almost 30 miles per hour. Let's go back over to Eric Dixon with an update from him on 240 here in South Oklahoma City. Eric?
Yeah, Mike, I'm over here about Douglas right now at 240. Still not seeing any power flashes. I still got, some light in the area here. We're just monitoring its changes. Hopefully, it's trying to wind down a little bit, not going to cycle again. That's been kind of its trend, but hopefully as it moves a little bit east, we'll see if it will wind down a little bit here. But I don't have any high winds at this location. There was a lot of high winds that was coming down I-240 here, a lot of rain wrapping curtains in the area. I don't have any of that currently, but I've got a 78 degree temp over here, on the east side here, 240.
The storm itself, pretty big supercell, does extend all the way up into northern Oklahoma County, towards Edmond. Here's your hail core that goes from South OKC, or south sides of downtown Oklahoma City, up towards the Capitol, down by Midwest City. The area circulation's coming on the east side of I-240, very close to Tinker. There's your brand new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued, by the way. But for the most part, the storm is still going. It's still going. It's 10:25. Let's hope that this storm is on a downward trend right now, but we've thought that before, and then all of a sudden it picks back up. So if you're out towards, say, Choctaw, Newalla, McLeod, where I know you're not in a tornado warning, but until this storm is basically like fizzling out really, really fast, we still got to take the storm very seriously. And we certainly are. Rain's been heavy with it, and it's still coming down. It's going to track across into eastern Oklahoma County. And this is a big storm. As a matter of fact, Jonathan, if you can, just pull it out and go back about 6 hours, just so we can see how this storm went from all the way out across the Texas Panhandle. And it basically, it had its eyes set on Oklahoma City. Now, you see all this blue, by the way, that's taken off. Watch how all of a sudden the blue begins to kind of take over right there. That's the cap that is now beginning to take over. Remember how we mentioned that there was going to be a cap that we were hoping the storm would weaken? We can see that beginning to occur on the radar here, but still, this storm is still basically creating its own atmosphere. And so let's hope that this storm can begin to weaken, but you can see it spun right through, right into the metro. And here we are right now from Oklahoma City, Valley Brook to Midwest City, area of rotation just west of Tinker, right along Sooner, coming very close to Sooner. Nick is in the hail core. There's storm command. There is Buck right here. This tornado warning still continues for just a little while longer, and then it was replaced with a severe thunderstorm warning, but with what we call the tornado tag. Still watching for developing tornado. Let me go out to Nick right now. Nick, we see you on the west side of Tinker. Nick, what do you see?
Yeah, Damon. So we went through a little area right by the gates at on the west side of Tinker, and we were getting ping pong ball size hail, but it was a lot. There was a lot more of it than the golf balls that we had just about 3 miles behind us. back to our north. So we're still continuing south on Sooner Road to get to I-240, and then going to follow this thing out towards McLeod and Choctaw and everything else on downstream to make sure that we've got a good view of it. Back to you.
Okay, and by the way, a flash flood warning is now coming out for the OKC Metro because of this storm here. That is just dropping a ton of rain. So this is certainly...
We know we've had damaging hail along with the wind and the tornadoes. And Tom, thank you so much for giving us that update. Cassie was just informing me we now have a flash flood warning. Cass, you're looking at some of those rainfall totals. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was looking at that because we do have...
Oh, Cassie, can you hear you? She's working on it. You got it.
My
You're
mic's
good.
fine. Okay, so yeah, we've got a flash flood warning coming for the Oklahoma City Metro. So it's just, we're just putting things on top of each other at this point. So we've already got the hail, we've got the heavy rain, but now the storm, it's kind of slowed down a little bit. So that's going to be a problem. So the flash flooding will obviously be a little bit of a concern. But just here in the past couple of hours, I know it's 3-hour rainfall totals, but 1-hour rainfall just doesn't get quite everything, but just around Bethany, so between Bethany, War Acres, and just south of Lake Hector, we've had anywhere from 2 to 2.5 inches of rain, and that includes all the way up towards Yukon, and even just west of that, you can kind of see where all the rain is falling.
Lightning happening. I'm kind of panning it around right now. That's I-40 at the center of your screen. I'm panning it farther off to the south and eventually toward the south and east. And the lightning rates here, of course, are quite high as the thunderstorm continues moving through this part of the city. So heads up Midwest City and Dell City and Tinker Air Force Base for at least some large, sizable hail on the north side of this. Let's come back here to Lynx and track this for you. So we're talking about locations off to the south and east Oklahoma City Metro. Go ahead and put the radar back on here. So that was velocity showing you where things are moving around in the storm. And this is just plain radar right here for you. So again, lots of heavy rain from I-35 Midwest City over toward Hera and Choctaw. We'll zoom in a little bit closer here. So there you go. There's Lake Aluma over toward Choctaw. The heaviest rain and hail is moving in. It's right over Midwest City and Dell City right there. And still kind of a little curve on the south side. But again, the rotation is not really tight. So there is some spin with this, but it's not imminently dangerous. And that is certainly good. So that severe thunderstorm warning continues with a flash flood warning now. So you'll see that pop up here in just a little bit. Flash flood warning. That goes until 1:30 in the morning for the torrential rainfall that we're, of course, seeing across the area. So we'll go ahead and take a look. I want to show you some of the hail because this is very important to folks.
Here's your hail tracker, by the way, coming right through Midwest City. Big hail, by the way, at least quarters. It was warned for golf balls. So still some pretty big hail that is coming in this storm right now, and it ran across Oklahoma City, up towards Bethany, out towards Overholser. And so this tornado warning, this is going to drop in the next couple of minutes here, but this is still a pretty nasty storm that's tracking across basically right through the heart of Oklahoma City. As I look at the storm impact, you can definitely see where the hail sizes are still their largest. So that's going to be right along I-40 as you make your way east of downtown Oklahoma City into Midwest City, and as you make your way down towards the north side of Tinker. So definitely going to be dealing with the hail with this storm, and even looking downstream, Choctaw, Hera, and Newalla. Real quick, let me just show you the big picture because there is a lot going on across the state right now. And so as we look up to the north, there are storms, by the way, severe storms.
I really appreciate that report. Corey Inman, you were on this thing all the way out near the Texas Panhandle earlier on. You had a rain-wrapped tornado in Roger Mills County, in Custer County, more intermittent touchdowns. And now here we find ourselves near the southeast Oklahoma City Metro with the severe thunderstorm still rolling on. Let's come back to Lynx right now, take a look at what we've got. And here it is. Again, the storm is continuing to show some signs of weakening and being a little bit more disorganized, which is really, really good. That's exactly what we want to see. Let's go ahead and, you know what, we're going to turn these menus off. We're going to look at the lightning, look at the lightning count.
So there it is. Further down the line, from Hank's perspective, Brandon Pennell's right there, and Tom as well. Let's go back to Lynx. Cassie was just pointing out what area that might be trying to get some circulation going. We hope it's not. But over Valley Brook, we're seeing a little bit of an uptick right there, right over Valley Brook, south of Dell City, right along I-240, and basically that's I-35. Let's go back to reflectivity and take a look because we're watching every area of circulation so so closely because I'm telling you, take your eye off this for 1 second and it's completely ramped up. That's what's happened so many times. So we haven't taken our eye off of any of these areas. You just can't, and you can't yet for sure. So what's going on is we've got this circulation that's just over Valley Brook. It'd be wrapped in rain if it's there. What does shear rate look like with that on the backside? So there is an area of circulation for sure right there. Tom's close. Tom's going to keep an eye on that. It's not showing that a tornado is developing at the moment. If one starts to, obviously, you'll be the first to know, but we're watching. Also, getting the winds. This is what shear rate's pointing out, the damaging winds that could be 60, maybe 70 miles per hour from Tinker Air Force Base down to Lake Stanley Draper. So let's go back to reflectivity and kind of get the look of this storm and lapse it and see what you think about kind of how the trend has gone with this. Because it looks like it's much more disorganized to me. What does the storm strength look like on this? Because all afternoon long, what time did we start doing this? Was that like 5 o'clock, I think? Maybe, closer to 6. Okay, wow, yeah, this thing has weakened. My goodness. Wow, this is such a great feeling. It's a great feeling, okay? Because see this storm strength and this legend, if you haven't been watching this all afternoon, we were right here in the pinks and the whites all afternoon long when this thing was producing multiple tornadoes. We'll show you some of the video here in just a minute, but we had multiple tornadoes out of this, and this was racing off to the east, and at times it slowed down and moved like 5 miles per hour, and it just stayed at its maximum, and it is definitely trying to finally spin down some. It is spinning down some, but we're watching it. It's not done, and as long as it's still spinning, you can't take your eyes off of it, and you can't leave it. We have a flooding threat across Oklahoma County. Please don't travel through standing water, and we also have a damaging wind threat coming through Midwest City, back over to Tinker, along Valley Brook, back to Lake Stanley Draper, and quarter-size
Something in the golf balls hitting, so Tinker's getting hit pretty hard with a big hail right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like right in front, there's the bridge that goes over there.
Yeah.
And then if you look, right in front of that truck, and you're not supposed to stop under overpasses, but you can see the hail just hitting the ground and shattering. That's a big hail. So I don't know if they evacuated the AWACS or not, but I'm sure the flight engineers will be out there trying to, or the mechanics will try to figure that out.
Yeah, look at the storm command right now. Michael, you have hail. How big is that hail, Michael?
Actually, at the moment, those are just huge raindrops right now where we're at Choctaw Road and I-40. So we're not getting any hail here falling yet. It's a little bit further to our west, back into Midwest City, probably pretty close to, well, the north end of Tinker, Douglas, Tinker Diagonal, all through that area, coming in on Southeast 29th, like John Conrad Golf Course around that area.
So, so right now we're getting golf ball size hail at Southeast 29th and Bryant, which we were just showing there on with the camera. It's going to be this very close to Tinker. Tornado warning, by the way, has been canceled. So this would be the first time since about 6:06 that we have not had a tornado warning in Oklahoma. It's been a day, all tied to this supercell. This one supercell.
All the way down, and that's debris. Several hundred feet up, that is debris being shot up. That is people's homes, businesses, and trees. And when the sun comes up tomorrow, Canadian County is going to look a lot different, unfortunately. I know the news desk is checking as far as any injuries. We sure hope we don't have any. And I'm not sure at the moment, but we'll get an update in just a little bit. So that was Canadian County. Go ahead.
I was looking at radar data and where we've seen damage reports.
Okay.
But that tornado started southwest of 15th, west of Banner.
Okay.
Went northeast through Reno and Gregory Road, up Cimarron Road, and ended just north of 10th Street.
Okay, how far is that, Justin?
I'll have to look exactly where.
Okay.
I don't have the
gotcha.
track, but I was just looking at the cross streets and watching radar there.
Okay, I have several miles. I know that, and then it almost lifted due north. And again, this was at 9:30.
And we have actually images from that here from Corey Inman, captured this tornado live as we were on air moments ago. That's where those reports are coming in that Jolene was just talking about. We do have crews that are on the scene right now. They're headed there to get some of that damage that we just mentioned, get reports of what's happening there. We also have some more damage out of Union City as well. Take a look at this.
I believe that may be Butler right there.
Butler,
Custer County. Yeah. And
wow, look at that. That's like a log inside of a car.
Rhonda Shepard sent these in.
That is just incredible to see.
And look what happened when the lightning struck right here. That is a tank probably full of oil.
Chiefs, those are the ones, like a crew chief is assigned to aircraft. Yeah, I don't know how many aircraft they had at Tinker at the time, but not just the AWACS, but the Navy side, the Mercuries. And there's also KC-135s with the 507, so probably some pretty significant damage there.
And and the hail size is still getting larger. I mean, this storm is still going. So we're looking at I-40 right now. When I look at this storm, and I see where the worst of the storm is right now, because the tornado warning's been dropped and the circulation's just not really that tight anymore. Now this is turning into just a horrible hailstorm for those that are going to be in Midwest City right now. This storm very well may have just ran into the cap, or the cap may have finally been able to have enough strength to just kind of collapse the storm out. But it is whatever hail was left up inside of it is now.
This is Tom's video. Val had the exact same shot as well, but this was near Custer City. A tornado emergency was issued for Custer City because of the work of our storm trackers, because of Tom Pastrano and Val and Amy Castor showing this, and that it was headed towards the town of Custer City. Look at this thing. There's the right side and the left side, and this thing started to lift to the north, as I think almost all the tornadoes have today, lifted due north and then weakened, did not hit the town of Custer City. But we know folks live out here. It's a rural area in Custer County, and we did come across damage. Val and Amy Castor were bringing you that damage live to multiple outbuildings and structures. And so just an awful day here across Oklahoma with multiple tornadoes. So that was earlier this afternoon and this evening. And now let me give you the radar again and show you kind of the broad view. Let's go statewide, Cass, and just show what's going on for folks. It's 10:30 now on your Sunday evening.
Well, and when the sun comes up tomorrow, I think we're going to see a lot of dents and a lot of new roofs that are going to be going on some Oklahoma homes today, because the hail size is just getting bigger and bigger. By the way, I mean, just about 2 or 3 minutes ago, we didn't have this white. By the way, the white, this is maxing out our color palette. And so when it comes to hail, there's probably detecting 3-inch size hail. Some of that may be melting a bit as it goes down to the ground, or maybe it's just so like clustered, like the storm just has so much hail next to it that sometimes the radar can see 2 hailstones and thinks it's 1, and so it puts those 2 together and it pings out 3-inch. But no matter how it is, that's a lot of hail that is basically just falling right on top of Midwest City and Del City right now. And you can see our hail tracker. I mean, the worst of the hail just ran right through downtown Oklahoma City into Midwest City, and it still continues.
It may have missed the flight line by literally a half mile.
So close.
Like a half mile. I don't know. It's indirect sensing. So, you know, sometimes the radar could be off just a little bit. I mean, literally, maybe the aircraft, because they're not on I-40.
All the static planes here, maybe.
Yeah, yes. But just, you know, you get about a half mile south of 40 when you get to the actual flight line where they keep the AWACS. Maybe they were spared. It may not be over yet, Damon, as storm collapses.
Yeah. How's it? I mean, this storm is indeed coming down, but it's still going. I mean, like I said, this storm went from way up here, and I'd say we're still here. We want to get the storm down here. We want the storm to just basically just fizzle out, but it is still going. Let me check in with Buck right now. Buck, we see you down by New Walla. Buck, what's the situation like where you are?
Yeah, Damon, we just exited right here at New Walla. We're not completely out in front of it. We're out in front a little bit. We're just getting heavy rain right now. There's no wind at all. But I'm expecting that to pick up here at any time.
And then as you zoom in, this storm is still severe in Oklahoma City. It's in the eastern sides of Oklahoma City, back to Midwest City and Tinker, right over Lake Stanley Draper, back to Choctaw and Jones. The hail core, it's not as intense as what it was. Still producing hail. This is still a hailstorm over Midwest City, but it's probably a lot of small hail, nickel dime, maybe some quarter-size hail. Might have a few golf balls mixed in there, but they won't be as widespread. And this is passing out of downtown, now moving east. Brandon Pennell is right there. What about any area of circulation out of the terminal? Doppler, Cass. Still the area that we've been tracking all day long, which is basically right along 240. We'll go out to Brandon Pennell here in just a second and check in with him. Brandon's right on the leading edge of the hook. Let's turn back on the reflectivity and take a look at what this looks like. because I have it pictured in my head of what that's going to be. Yep. Okay, so that is the hook coming around, circulating right around and lifting to the north. So it's an area where you're trying to get winds towards the storm. Meanwhile, on the backside, the storms are racing away. If we have damaging winds, that's where they would be, right at 240. Let's go out to Brandon Pennell. And Brandon, you've been with this storm for so long now as it's moving over into the east side of the metro. What are you seeing? Brandon, can you hear me?
Yeah, Lacey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Well, there was a lot of lightning. Go ahead.
Yeah, Lacey, that's one thing we were just talking about. The lightning has kind of come back up. It kind of went through a little spell where we weren't seeing a whole lot of cloud to ground lightning, and probably here in the last 5 minutes, we've noticed that we've had a huge uptick in our CGs. So we are eastbound on I-40 now, coming up on Choctaw Road, and about to make a north turn on Choctaw Road, coming up into the east side of the metro, east side of Midwest City, Dell City, Choctaw area. There is probably I can't see it, but just looking at radar and looking at my winds off the surface where I'm at located now, there's probably still somewhat of a circulation back to my northwest. That's why we're going to get north and then look back up in there and see if we can see anything. I can tell you that as we come through down I-240, where Hank was at Douglas, where he was taking west-southwest winds in that RFD wrap, 1.5 to 2 miles to the east of that, we were getting hard east winds and southeast winds feeding back up into it. So there's still a remnant circulation. We just have to stay with it to make sure it doesn't try to do anything crazy. It's May, and it's already been a wild night. So back to you.
Absolutely, Brandon. You can't leave these storms. That's why we never do.
If you're looking at the storm, there's a little bit of almost a little hook back there, and I'm watching it. Just from this angle, it looks like it's just been persistent and getting a little bit bigger, but nothing to be super alarmed about. But we're definitely going to continue to watch this. Back to you.
Okay, I know you'll be watching that. Let's go up in the Enid right now. Golf balls right now falling in Enid. That report just coming in just seconds ago. And so if you're in Enid right now, here's the storm coming in. And so golf ball size hail with this storm that is coming into Enid right now, especially out very close to Vance, just south of the mall here. And so golf ball size hail coming through Enid, especially on south sides of Enid at the moment, making its way into Enid at 10:50.
This is coming into Enid, so everybody in Enid, stay away from your west windows. It's not wind-driven, okay? The hail's just pretty much falling straight down. But there's very, very little wind with this storm. But this hail just started probably about a minute and a half ago, and it's still maintaining ping pongs to golf balls. Mike?
Yeah. So let's go back over to Max 2 here, and we'll show you that severe storm in the Enid area. You can see the purple there, and even going to white. That's going to be that golf ball size, or maybe a little bit bigger, coming right into Enid. Here's Enid, so literally here in the next minute or two. Pretty good size hail. That's Mike Bennett. Mike Bennett, where are you from Oakwood Mall out there, the west side of Enid? How far away from Oakwood Mall are you?
I'm about probably less than half a mile west of Oakwood Mall. I'm basically in the Walmart parking lot is where I'm at. And I'm actually going to start moving now. I'm going to get back on Owen K. Garrett and drive east with it. The hail size is starting to come down just a little bit. Still hailing quite a bit, but the hail size has come down. We're getting probably nickels and dimes now with an occasional ping pong ball. But anyway, it's a pretty good hailstorm moving through Enid. Thank goodness it's not wind-driven. And, we start getting wind-driven hail, then you start getting broken windows and things of that nature. But right now the winds are really pretty calm, which surprised me because I thought this was going to be a little bit of a windstorm with this when I looked at the storm structure on GR Level 3, it had a little bit of a
the watch remains in effect until midnight. So right now it is currently 10:45. So we still have about another hour and 15 minutes to go. All the counties here in blue, this watch goes until midnight. And it does include the OKC Metro and the Potawatomi County. A couple changes that we're seeing right now in the atmosphere, a lot of hailers falling out there right now. And so whether you're up towards Alva, Enid, or as you go down towards Midwest City. Let's check back in. Enid, we're going to come back to you in about 30 seconds. But let's come back down into the OKC Metro and get an update on what this storm is looking like. So downtown Oklahoma City, you're good. All clear. Moore, all clear. Norman, all clear. For you as well. Choctaw to Hara, still watching the storm. Still has quite a bit of lightning up inside of it as well, but the storm is still dropping some hail. Let's check in with Michael right now. Michael, what do you see?
Yeah, Damon, we are still kind of following the storm right now. We've kind of just decreased to kind of some sporadic rain. It really seems like this storm is, it's not done yet, but it's a severe thunderstorm warning now, and it's kind of like starting to shift where I'm watching some of it, and it's moving more to the northeast. So the storm seems like it's trying to kind of take advantage of whatever kind of small little spin it has left in the storm as it kind of does what we call spin down. And so we're going to keep an eye out very closely with this until the threat's completely gone.
$half and some golf balls mixed in there. This is going to be coming in on the west side of Enid, so they're taking pretty
County
good
in northwest Oklahoma. So we'll back up. We'll back up here. We'll take this and back it up.
I'll drive that.
So there's Enid and right there. So this hook forming right here between Waynoka and Freedom, right there. So there's going to be a tornado warning for this hook forming right there. It even has a sink drain. There goes the polygon with it right there. There's the tornado warning polygon. So near Waynoka, so it's right over the river right now. Go ahead and hit your velocity on that. We'll look at it. It's got a sink drain effect, so it's forming really fast. It's pulling all that rain and hail going right into the mesocyclone, so it's forming really quickly. So it may not take long. Yeah, it's on the ground. There's a tornado there already. It's on the ground right there, just past the river. That is definitely a tornado, no doubt about it. So where's that going? There's Waynoka here. So we're talking about areas near Waynoka and north of Waynoka. So a tornado.
So there you see it. That circulation has been kind of getting more and more organized. You can see the storm itself. Look at how it's kind of got the streaks right there. That's because the precip is actually moving around the updraft, having to go around on either side of it because the updraft is so strong. And then it's got the hook that's forming. Watch that hook go from just a little bit of a hook to very pronounced, wrapping all the way up. So let's go in tighter, Cassie, and take a look at velocity. That is easily on the ground. That could be a tornado on the ground just developing right now, crossing the river over into Woods County. If not, you're getting straight line wind or some winds anywhere from 75, 85, maybe a 90 mile an hour wind there. This is south of Freedom, and this is, let's lapse it, Cassie, and see the direction that this storm is moving. It is moving to the east, almost to the east-southeast, is it?
That's what I thought at first, but...
Okay, so east-southeast, either way. Winoka, you need to watch this closely. You're included in the tornado warning. It may go as far south as Winoka. We're watching it for you. Let's go back and take a look at correlation, the debris detector, and see what we've got. This is going to be the circulation. Cassie's going to stop this. Don't see it on the ground as far as that goes. Let's look at shear rate, which should be right here, south of Fair Valley. Yep, starting to spin there. Really starting to spin. And let's go back to velocity data and lapse that because you can see that quickly tighten up right there, boom. And then it may have even weakened some. So
Damon,
it happens so very...
Looks like we have a new tornado warning for the Waynoka, Avard, Hopeton area, big area circulation. This is what I had keyed in on just a little bit earlier, so there it is.
So as we mentioned, you know, we went about, what, 15, 20 minutes without a tornado warning, but the threat was still there. And so brand new tornado warning from Winoka as you make your way down towards Alva here. Now, Alva, you're not included in this tornado warning polygon. This is going to be northwest of Winoka at about 11:10 for Winoka, Hopeton at 11:36. And then if this takes a hard turn up to the northeast, comes into Alva at about 11:40. Carmen at midnight. Cherokee at 12:17. Helena at 12:28, Great Salt Plains Lake shortly thereafter as well. So still watching, again, this area that is rotating as well. Again, tornado warning there. Another area that we're watching as well, big hail inside that into Enid right now. I know Enid right now, we are getting hit with some big time hail. We can see it. I mean, Enid is just, wow. That is, look at all that black. That is golf balls right now that are falling on top of Enid towards Vance, North Enid as well. Big hail right on top of Enid. And so, and this warning goes until, well, about 8 minutes. It will be extended. We've been getting the reports here of golf balls that are falling in Enid at this very moment. So definitely, this is still a very impactful night. Whether you're in Enid, out across northern Oklahoma, or even across the metro here. So watching this one here, you can definitely see, oh man, that's just so close to Vance Air Force Base, by the way. Those golf balls may be falling about half a mile north of Vance, but they're cutting right through Enid as we speak. And so, and it's just getting worse and worse. I mean, we're definitely seeing that big hail that is falling right across central Garfield County. So we'll come back to this Enid. I know, look, Enid, the worst of the storm. This could be on the south and the east sides of town. It's going to continue to make its way to the east here. But that's a big hailstorm. We've been getting your reports coming in. Tornado warning out towards Winoka. As you make way, again, Alva, you're not including that, but there's your hook coming right into this. Winoka, it's going to be close. It is going to be close, but Winoka, this storm is tracking down to the east-southeast here. So if you're in Hopeton, Tacoma, or Winoka, we're watching this right now as this cell continues to make its way. Here's your inflow coming into this. Your tornado is going to be, that's north of Quinlan, well north of Quinlan, northwest of Winoka. But that looks, is that a debris ball?
Yeah, I think so, Damon.
Oh, my gosh.
I would say right now, tornado probably active right now for this tornado warning. Just what I'm seeing on radar right now.
Any debris in there?
Hail core is intensifying. This is a strengthening storm for sure. For sure, it is strengthening. It is getting its act together. It is not on a weakening trend. It's not showing showing signs of letting up. We hope it does, but right now that is not the case. This could be some golf ball, maybe some tennis ball size hail south of Fair Valley, and that's going to be across the river now into Woods County, crossing eventually Highway 14. What does debris detector show now with this? Let's see. She's going to stop it here, and we'll see if this pairs up with velocity data. It's going to be close as far as, no, I think it's not quite debris, but that is a strengthening storm for sure. I think that's on the ground. I think that is a tornado on the ground now, northwest of Winoka, and laps it now, Cassie. I think it's moving easterly. It was kind of maybe trying to go south, but I think it's, yeah, right now it is moving easterly up towards Avard, right?
Yes, it almost looks like it's going east to almost east-northeast.
Yep. Okay. So zoom out just a little bit, and let's kind of give folks an idea down the line. Here's Alva. Alva, how far southwest of Alva is this now? It looks like it will go south of Alva, but you can't bet on that. 17 miles away to the southwest of Alva. If you know friends or family, folks in Woods County, please call them and make sure they are paying attention. This could be a damaging tornado now trying to cross eventually Highway 14 in the southwestern portion of Woods County. This looks to go north of Winoka if it continues moving easterly, or right now it's almost trying to go a little bit more north of easterly. We'll see how it goes, and that is heading over towards Hopeton and will likely go north of Highway 281, and that is continuing to get stronger. All right, let's zoom out and put on reflectivity and take a look at the Enid storm as well. So tornado warning for Woods County. Please be in your safe spot. We're watching the storms back over Nash and Pond Creek and Jefferson right now. Low end severe, not tornadic for sure. Now let's go back to Enid, where we've already had golf ball
big
size
tornado though on the ground up here in Woods County, and these things like this are really, really dangerous. So we just have to put a big exclamation point on this. There's Winoka right there. Here's Avard right here. If you know anybody that lives between Winoka and Avard and then points east, like Tacoma, for example, and then from there toward Lambert and Alfalfa County, text them and just make sure they know what's going on, because here it is, 11 o'clock at night, and that's a big tornado right there. It's a powerful tornado. It's a big one. It was turning to the southeast. Now it's moving more due eastward, but it peaked in intensity maybe about 2 minutes ago. But it's ongoing, and it's a big tornado right there. There's Winoka. It's only 4 miles to the northwest of Winoka. It's moving due eastward. But these are the kind of tornadoes, when they're this big and this powerful at night, they can really be life-threatening and very, very dangerous. And folks that are caught off guard and don't know these things are coming can have a real serious threat to their lives. Folks that live in mobile homes, for example, maybe they're not just paying close attention to what's going on. They've got to know the weather up here in Woods County tonight means big-time business. And that's a big tornado right there. Big hook, big supercell with a big hook. So it'll likely go north of Winoka. There may be damaging winds coming around to near Winoka, But over here to the east toward Avard, make sure that they know, if you know some friends and loved ones up here, make sure they know what's going on, because that means real business, and it's a big tornado, and it could create a lot of destruction if it hits something. So it's up here in Woods County in northwestern Oklahoma. Here's the hailstorm going through Enid. It's now over there by Woodring Airport. So it just passed through downtown about 2 minutes ago. Mike Bennett's been talking all about that. Now it's over here by Woodring Airport and by the Breckenridge Blacktop over here on the east side of Enid. But golf balls are pretty common with that. And then here's what's left of the severe storm in Oklahoma County, and it's nothing compared to what it was about 30 or 40 minutes ago. It's lost its supercellular characteristics. Still has a little rotating updraft near Hera, so there's still some golf balls sitting in there. Of course, it's had a history of producing tornadoes all the way back into western Oklahoma much earlier this afternoon. But there's still some golf balls basically over Choctaw, east side of Choctaw right there. That's what's left of the rotating updraft. It's just sitting there spinning away. But it's lost its supercellular characteristics and no longer a hook. It just has a spinning updraft, and it's going to keep doing that. So the hail's going to keep going with it. So it's a severe thunderstorm warning with a risk of damaging winds. But again, no tornado warning for any place in the Oklahoma City metro. But a heads up for you folks in Lincoln County, golf ball size hail still possible over around Highway 102 and from McLeod and Dale northward over here toward 102 and Wilshire and 102 in Britton and 102 and Memorial Road over here in western Lincoln County. So it's still got some golf balls with it now east of Choctaw coming into Hera and North Hera, Horseshoe Lake and such over here in eastern Oklahoma County.
It is tight.
But again,
coming up towards Highway 14. Let's zoom in and see if we have east-west roadways. Roads are kind of slim pickings up here in Woods County, but they're there for sure. Custer Road. It's going to be Custer Road and Ellis Road in between there and County Road 290, just a couple of miles to the west of Highway 14. That is the circulation. Let's see what shear rate looks like now, and we'll go back to that. Definitely showing kind of that backward C or upside down C shape, which indicates a tight mesocyclone and a tight area of spin. Let's go to debris detector and see if that's showing anything. I hope it's not, but it's going to be right in here. Nope. Not seeing anything to confirm that it's on the ground, but radar Vaxrot is saying it could easily be. It could easily be on the ground based on how tight the couplet is. In fact, let's go back to radar now. I'm seeing the last scan, and it might have weakened some. Cassie, take it for a second. I'm going to cough.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to look at base velocity here. And then obviously you can definitely still see that there's some rotation. But earlier, it definitely looked like we had a little bit more of a couplet there. And that has weakened. It hasn't gone away, but it's definitely weakened. And that area of circulation is also continuing to lift more east to the northeast. It's still quite a ways away from Avard. But if I were in Avard, I would definitely be getting into my safe place right now. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a storm track on this. And I'm going to adjust the time, and I'm going to say that it's moving at about 25 miles an hour, and I'm going to take it from where there would potentially be a tornado to Avard, and we're looking at 11:17. So again, we're 11 o'clock right now, so about 17 minutes away. So we're going to continue to just go ahead and put this into motion and just kind of see how it's kind of developing as it's moving towards Highway 14. And again, it continues to look like it's weakening. There's definitely going to be some wind in there. I'm going to go ahead and pause it and query some of this wind on the base velocity, and we're looking at 50 miles an hour right now at this point. There's some coming in at 60, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do have gusts a little higher than that, but right now it does continue to look like the circulation's weakening some as it moves to the east.
Absolutely, Cass. That's exactly what it looks like. Look how that just tightened up as it crossed the river, basically.
And then coming up to Garber. Again, this storm, it may not be
that continues to kind of cool off. That thunderstorm that produced several tornadoes. Gosh, it started all the way in western Oklahoma. We have the one in Garfield County. That's basically right along 412, just east of Enid. And then the tornado warning, that's in Woods County, southern Woods County, that we're going to watch very carefully. Severe thunderstorm watch in all the blue counties. That goes until midnight for right now. So that's been extended. A lot of counties have been added, and that continues for some time. So here's the storm, again, really losing it. This is really great. Okay, so we had some about golf ball sized hail with this before it really started to collapse near the Choctaw and Midwest City and Dell City areas. There's not much left of this. Lightning rates are really coming down. And here's the hail. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. Look at that. just down to about dimes right now. So Hera points south, down to just dimes coming down. McLeod, areas north of I-40. There's some of the hail reports as it moved through Midwest City, Valley Brook, areas I-240 and north up to I-40. But now we're really seeing that go away. So that's really nice improvement across central Oklahoma. So here's a severe thunderstorm now. It is just east of Enid in Garfield County. Other thunderstorms not severe, but they're strong in parts of Grant County and Alfalfa County. And the tornado warning continuing. Again, it looks like it's going to go just north of Waynoka. When this first started to ramp up, it had a little bit of a southeasterly movement with it, but that has since kind of planed out to more of a just easterly movement. And, well, might be ramping up again. Yep, we're ramping up again. Okay, so last couple scans here. It looked like it was going away. This is the brand newest scan. So this is what we're talking about. See the really hot...
And almost, I mean, it's not far from dissipating probably, but as it continues to move east, there's probably still a little bit of lightning to our north, and but I think the hail core is even gone, and so that's a good thing. Back to you.
And that is a good thing. I mean, this storm was a big one, and so it continues to come down. Now it's still going. You can still see, I mean, you got a couple other cells bubbling up here across Pottawatomie County, Shawnee, as you make your way up towards McLeod here. But for the most part, I'd say the worst of the storm is going to be in the northern fringe. Headed towards McLeod at 11:05, Dale 11:07, Johnson, if it's still going down to Prague, about midnight. We'll see what's left of it. Let's go back up to the north, get an update on our tornado warning that we have that's going to be up near Winoka and Avard. And so... here we are right here. This tornado warning, there's your couplet. So Winoka, this is just north of you. This is just north of you. Avard, it's going to be real close coming in here. But this tornado warning goes until, I believe, right now it's 11:04. So it probably goes until about 11:30, 11:45. But here's your tornado warning right here, 11:30. And so that is going to be... let's see here, I'd say about 5 to 10 miles north of Winoka. Moving to the east here. So Winoka, you're okay, at least with what I see on the radar, unless this thing all of a sudden just drops south. But right now the atmosphere is pulling it to the east. So Hopeton, 11:37, Tacoma, 11:49, Carmen at 12:03 with this storm. You can see the whole thing is just rotating right now. Tight radar couplet right here. We have the red and the blue coming together. We're looking for debris up inside of this, not finding any.
Turn around here and go see what they're headed to. I don't know if we've got kind of a structure fire maybe caused by lightning or something, but if I can do a little U-turn right here. The hail size got up to golf balls as it come through Enid. When it got over on the east side of Enid around 30th Street, it could have been bigger, a little bit bigger than golf balls, because just looking at radar, looked like the hail size was just increasing. The storm was more severe as it was exiting Enid, and so it's tracking towards Breckenridge and Garber, and I imagine Breckenridge is probably getting the brunt of it right now, and it's tracking towards Garber and then later Red Rock, Billings, and so. Hopefully it'll come down, but right now it was golf balls as it passed through the west part of Enid. Back to you.
We're seeing right now, as far as the hail core, definitely unfortunately pulsed up right over Enid as far as the intensity of the hailstones, and then kind of came down a little bit over toward the Breckenridge area where it is right now. You can see on his live stream right there's the fire engine and fire crews as Mike Bennett's talking about potential fire situation that we're watching in the Enid area. So he's going to let us know.
14 for sure in Woods County. Let's go back to reflectivity and see the hook on this. And we told you the first hook kind of got pulled back in. This will be rain wrapped for sure right now because the circulation is right here. And you can see what's right there on reflectivity. That's a lot of hail. That's a lot of heavy rain and wind being circulated around that if it is a tornado, and you won't see it. So don't go outside and think you got to go look at this, because you're not going to get a view of it. You're not going to get a picture of it. You're just going to get hit with it if you try to do that. So please don't. This is moving to the east, maybe 15, 25 miles per hour. We'll see if it speeds up some. The hail core has kind of ticked down a little bit, but it's still a broad area of hail over Woods County, and that's going to head over again towards Avard and may make it into Alva Tornado warning continues with this storm. Let's go back to Enid now. Please be in your safe spot in Woods County and eventually potentially back over towards Cherokee. It's not there yet. We'll see what it looks like. The hail core with the storm that went right over Enid, produced golf balls, is now over Breckenridge, headed towards Garber, moving to the east at about, 35, maybe 40 miles an hour. That storm is moving. It really is. That's going to make its way over towards Billings and Sears. Any circulation within that?
Let me check.
Okay.
Let's see real quick.
It just looks like a lot of wind and hail. Okay. A lot of wind and hail is what we're seeing out of that storm. And it's probably got some 50 to maybe 60 mile an hour winds with it and quarter to golf ball size hail. And it may have weakened. That one might have actually come down just a little bit. So no circulation within that one. It's the tornado warning to the northwest. All right, let's go further to the south. Let's come back to central Oklahoma and look at that storm that has just been so destructive. By the way, we did get an update from our news desk for Canadian County. We know we had that tornado that our trackers were on, and it was doing damage. We were showing you that tornado live on the air for several minutes, several miles.
The airport here just south of I-40, and this is off of Southwest 10th and Cimarron Road. I want to show you the substantial damage here on this house. Now, this house is in the way of that tornado that Nick Smith had that video on just earlier today. There's a bunch of people out here looking at this damage. The fire alarms are going off, and on the road there you see down power lines, fences, trees, and there are at least 40 people, 50 people here helping out with this damage and shining their flashlights on the ground, looking for things. And I talked with deputies on the scene here. There was a little concern that there was maybe someone missing. Everybody's accounted for here, though. Right now, they're actually looking in the fields over there. You can see the flashlights. They're shining on the ground, looking at every little inch over there. They're really looking for livestock, trying to account for all the livestock that were in this area. Someone actually was here earlier today helping this resident at this house with their livestock there. But everybody's good over here. Just tons of damage. The entire roof on that house is just gone. And like I said, the fire alarms are still going off and everything, and you just don't see an inch over there. So I'm going to throw it back to you, Damon.
Okay, we'll be talking to you in the next, throughout the evening, and come daybreak, there's gonna be a lot of data, a lot of pictures that are gonna come in that, we're gonna see here. But we definitely know that, look, there have been lots of, damage out there, lots of tornadoes, probably at least half a dozen. At one point, we had a tornado.
Fire department just arrived. I think this is a middle school here. Not exactly sure, but I don't see any smoke or fire, so it could be an alarm that was set off by by the hailstorm or light or thunder or something. But anyway, doesn't look like there's an active fire here, but they're checking it out. Back to you.
Mike, thank you so much for updating us on that. It's Enid up there. The hailstorm has moved east of Enid, heading up toward Billings right now in Garber. And golf ball is pretty common with that. Of course, that just rolled through Enid. Mike was talking about it from west of Oakwood Mall as it came on through Enid there in the past half hour or so. That's a live view there from Garfield County tonight. Let's go back over to Max 2.
And eventually it comes over towards County Road 310 and Cotton Road. And that's getting close now, within a mile, maybe a mile and a half of Highway 14. And there we go. That's not good. That's a much more organized, symmetrical circulation. It looks like it's a weaker tornado. So you've got about 120 mile per hour, maybe 130 mile per hour gate-to-gate shear. That could still do significant damage. That is a tornado that's not a violent tornado, but a strong one. So please take this seriously and go to your safe spot. Get away from the outside walls. Get your kiddos. If you have to get in a closet, if it's a bathroom, whatever that is, if you don't have a storm shelter or a cellar, please do that. And I know it's a mess to have to do this time of night. It's 11:11 on a Sunday, and you probably got to be at work in the morning. But I'm telling you, you don't want to risk it with this type of a circulation. Do what you have to do. Do it now. Get to your safe spot if you haven't already, because this circulation could easily be from a tornado on the ground. Are we seeing anything on debris? We keep checking, and we're not seeing anything, which that's wonderful. Hope we don't. And no, I don't see anything showing up in here that's indicating that we have debris lofted from a tornado. So that's wonderful. We'll see what happens. This continues to work its way to the east.
See, Avard right here is technically in more danger than Waynoka is as it moves to the east, and it wobbles a little bit. They wobble back and forth. So Avard's right smack in the middle of that tornado warning. And then over here toward Tacoma, heads up for you. This is by far the most serious storm in the state, and you can really clearly see the tornadoes really jump out on Doppler here really well. That was a big tornado. It lifted. Now there's another one on the ground right there. And that one maybe not quite as big, but it's a significant system all the same. The debris detector here, we don't really see anything jumping out too much. This is rangeland up here, so it's really tough country up here in Woods County, up here in kind of the canyon territory around the river. So a lot of rangeland up here, a lot of scrub brush and such. So the population is pretty sparsely scattered in through this part of Woods County. So we don't see any debris being lofted, which is a good sign. So perhaps that tornado is not technically really hitting anything, but it is on the ground. There's no doubt about that. So here's the storm coming out of Enid. It has weakened some, but it's now in Garber, so quarters likely there. Quarters, dimes, and nickels. Garber. There's Billings. It's moving to the east, northeast at around 30 to 35 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warning for Garfield County. It's going to be heading over into Noble County. North of Perry, Sears, Red Rock, Black Bear Creek area. So it's heading your way. Quarters, likely no more golf balls with it, but lots of quarters and nickels and dimes with it. So here's the storm over Lincoln County, and it's basically shrinking and evaporating and going away. And as Aaron said a minute ago, likely is not even severe left. So this one's history. It's done. There's no tornado warnings, nothing like that, and it likely is not even severe. Of course, had a history.
Yeah, right there. You can see the weakness in the precip. You can see a little bit of a hole there in the precip, and that's because everything is spinning around in a circle around the tornado if it's on the ground. And it looks like it easily could be on the ground. Everything lines up. Shear rate lines up. What does max rot look like? Right there in that spot. Same thing. Everything lines up. Let's zoom out and just show folks in correlation here to like Winoka and Freedom, where we're talking about. This thing was trying to move to the east, produce possibly a brief tornado, weakened, and then now started to produce another one. But what's happening is it's not getting that shove. Let's turn back on reflectivity and just lapse reflectivity and see what the whole storm is doing. Huh. I mean, the whole thing is moving to the east, and then you've got the hook and the circulation that's just not getting a shove. It's really not. And we'll see what it does, because you would think it's going to start to weaken, especially if it's trying to lift back to the north. That's usually what happens. But on velocity data, it's not weakening and falling apart. It's just not moving. It is moving to the west. I'm pretty sure of it. It is.
Yes, it definitely is.
Oh, my goodness. That's the second tornado today to do that. Okay, let's zoom back into Woods County. There's Freedom, there's Winoka, there's Alva. This is going to be a tornado that's just do-si-doing in southwestern portions of Woods County. It was moving to the east, and then it just pumped the brakes, literally stalled.
Left the fire department. They're real close to NOC, and that may be a building part of the NOC building, but I believe it may be a middle school that's located next door to it, but not real familiar with it. But they're up on the roof. Firemen, there's several of them up there on the roof doing inspections, running around with flashlights, but I don't see an active fire. A lot of them are standing around just waiting to see what's next, but doesn't look like there's an active fire. There's probably a false alarm.
Very difficult and very dangerous, because people just get it in their head when they're out chasing, or even folks down the line that think they're going to go out and look, that you know where this is going. No one knows where this is going. You don't. The best chasers do not know where a storm is going and what it's going to do in the next scan, and especially in May in Oklahoma, when you've got so many things going on at different levels of the atmosphere and the jet stream. That is a tornado, and you're seeing it right there, that was trying to make its way to the northeast and is now moving back to the west. And it's still holding its own. It's a weak tornado. If it's on the ground, it's weak, which is great. Can you turn off reflectivity in the warning, and let's just look at the terrain. I'm going to keep my finger where the tornado is, and we'll just kind of zoom in and take a look here at where we're at. Yep, there we go. That's just wild.
Ponca, we're okay. But Ponca City, these storms are going to come in here. It's probably going to be a little while, but they are going to come in here. A lot of the data we've been looking at has been showing far northern Oklahoma as an area to watch for storms as we go into the overnight here. And so, again, Hope into Tacoma, Carmen, Cherokee, Great Salt Plains Lake, Jet, Nescatunga, and Kegelman Field, 11:47 to 1 o'clock here with these storms moving to the east. I know our crews are out. We'll have to talk to some of our crews that are out right now because I know they're still out. Storm Command going up to the north here. But otherwise, as we watch these storms moving to the east, still impactful. If you're in, say, Red Rock, Perry, Marlin, towards Garber and Billings, still watching these storms moving across northern Oklahoma and are going to continue to make their way across northern Oklahoma. So let's see here. Tacoma, let's see, Avard, big hail right now going through Avard and Garber as well. Let me check in with Storm Command right now. Michael Armstrong. Michael, give us an update from Storm Command.
Yeah, Damon, we are just over here in Midwest City area near Tinker, headed to get some fuel and get recharged, and we're headed back up north. Looking at just around the area, we didn't find any really large hail here on the north side of Tinker. Whenever we were looking just a bit earlier, we found some quarter-size hailstones, but certainly nothing like what we saw earlier today with this storm when it was back up to the northwest, up closer to Morewood. But just a tremendous storm that moved through. Glad to see it kind of dissipating. Still kind of concerned about these new storms that have popped up. I don't know if these storms just east of Guthrie are going to intensify into severe, but still watching for that hail threat up east of Enid, and of course the tornado warning up north of Winoka. So just to be safe, we're going to make our way up I-35 to the north and see what we can find.
Absolutely, and so we're watching you there, Michael. Again, we see the cells going up right now from Guthrie to Langston, headed up towards Perkins, right along out towards Ripley as well. They're not severe, but they are bubbling up right now, so we're going to continue to watch them as they're making their way out to the east. So watching these storms right now, Fairmont up towards Billings, Garber south of Hunter. This storm doesn't have the large hail in it like I had before. Probably still has hail, but it was dropping
Canadian
golf
County for
balls.
several minutes. Custer County also for several minutes. Our storm trackers were right there. We brought it to you live. We've got the video we've been showing you throughout the day. This is what's left of that mess of a storm. It is now from Meeker to Prague to Little with light to moderate rain over the village, hail core, maybe some pea-sized hail over Meridian. Those cells are taken off, but they're not severe. And then back up to the north, Bob is there in Stillwater. He's from our sister station in Tulsa. He's tracking these storms, and he'll kind of hand it off from Marty and take them back to the east. And be tracking these overnight across northern Oklahoma, but not a tornado threat right now. Over Garber, over Billings, over Red Rock or Tonkawa. Most likely not going to produce a tornado.
Let's get to power outages because, of course, there's got to be power outages with this thing. I know total over 7,000 for sure customers are without power. We're talking OG&E. We're talking Oklahoma's electric cooperatives. Thousands out west of us. Custer County for sure, almost 2,500 out. Canadian County almost 1,200 out. And this is just customers, so several people are without power. That almost triples when you talk about homes.
And a lot of towns out on the western side have those co-ops and so forth. So
yeah, it's not just OG&E. There's plenty out there. So we'll keep watching that one.
Well, let's go back over to Aaron to get an update on the storms that are in the Enid area.
Yeah, watching right now the storms in Enid. They're off to the east of Enid right now near Highway 412 in Garber and the Covington area, rather. And this storm up near Avard, this does have a tornado warning. It technically goes for 9 more minutes. Woodward County has been kind of shaved off of this. It was just barely in the warning. Really, really interesting thing happened here. The tornado approaching Highway 14, a fairly normal motion from west to east, all of a sudden slingshotted and went back the other way and now is dissipated. Very interesting right there. Now the circulation, it's broad, but it's south of Avard. This is just mesocyclone circulation. which means the large thunderstorm itself is rotating. So it might be trying to cycle right here. There's a little bit of colors trying to come together. Again, this is going to be off to the west of Tacoma. It's going to try to dip off to the south and east as it continues on. Really no debris that we detected with this, so that is certainly good. But yes, a lot of hail with it as it continues on. So moving toward the Tacoma area. So look out for large hail Tacoma and eventually toward Carmen and Aileen as it continues off to the south and east. So other thunderstorms pretty heavy off to the north. Here's that new circulation, that broad circulation over toward Helena by about 12:10, Ringwood 12:23, and La Homa about 12:40 into the morning hours. And this storm now just off to the east of Garber and Billings. That's approaching I-35. Let's go to Mike Bennett, still in the Enid area. But Mike, I kind of want to ask you, as you look toward off toward the west and northwest, tell me about the lightning that you're seeing. Still quite a bit of a ways from Enid, but some of that lightning.
Still got to watch it, scan by scan, we've been doing all night. Okay, let me go back out to Dakota. Dakota, I know you have a lot of new data that's rolling in right now from this tornado and the number of tornadoes that struck Canadian County, western sides of the metro. Dakota, what do you see right now?
Yeah, we're back here at Southwest 10th and Cimarron Road. I want to show you more of this damage over here. There's actually a few classic trucks that are over here. A lot of people are looking at those right now, and you can just see all this damage. These are power lines, they're fences, stuff related to those classic trucks that are destroyed. And I actually talked to the neighbors here, but then even across over by, you see the house right there, but the neighbors that live right next to them, they were actually telling me their stories. So the animals that people are looking for in the fields here, it's livestock, but it's also horses. Those neighbors, they returned from a 3-week trip to Europe 3 days ago, and everything was fine until tonight, and now they're doing okay. They were taking shelter. Their horse barn took some damage. They say there's some glass inside. The hay side of their barn is pretty messed up, something they'll be working through, but they talked to their neighbors here with the missing fence, and everything's fine. You know, the missing fence and the missing roof, and everything's fine. They're doing okay. Everybody's kind of coming here to support each other through this mess they have here, but they're all working together, so everything's good besides the damage. So back to you, Damon.
Yeah, and definitely come daybreak, we're probably going to see a lot more, I'm afraid to say here. So again, this is exactly where we're currently looking. Okay, so still watching an update right now. So tornado warning has been dropped for Woodward as we basically kind of trim this this warning out of Woodward, but it's still ongoing right now up towards basically just north of Winoka. Let me switch radar sites.
So that's why the tornado warning is still on it. The mesocyclone is still spinning, and it's still spinning pretty broadly, I should say, and not incredibly tight, but it could tighten up. So we're watching it and we're staying with it. So let's go back to reflectivity.
And Lacey, just updating you, we do have a reporter, Matt, and he's in the Yukon area whenever you're ready to get an update.
Yeah, let's go to Matt here in just a second. Let's get a track, Cassie, if we can, and we'll give folks, now that this thing is moving again off to the east, we'll do a storm track, and then we'll get out to Matt. Is it Matt McCabe?
I believe so.
Okay, we'll go out to him here in just a second because we do need to get that update because we know we've had multiple tornadoes today and we've had some significant damage. So this tornado warned storm is moving. Okay, let's go back to Lynx 2. Could have very large hail up to the size of golf balls, maybe baseballs that are going to be crossing 281, coming over towards Tacoma. She's put the track on it here and moving it over towards Tacoma at about 11:51. Carmen at 12:10, Lambert at 12:15, the Great Salt Plains Lake at 12:53, Nescatunga at 1 o'clock, gorgeous up there, Nash at 1:16.
Moving up towards K County. Right now, Ponca City, you don't have any warnings. Ponca City, the first one we're going to have to watch will be this one that's going to be in eastern Garfield County, from Garber to Billings. That's moving across eventually into northern Noble County. The storm at one point dropped golf balls on the town of Enid and dropped a lot of golf balls out there on the town of Enid here. So we're hoping that storm can weaken here. It definitely doesn't look like from a storm impact here, it's dropping as much hail as it was before. You can see
Cimarron Road and 10th Street. So behind me, there's some pretty clear evidence that there was a tornado that went through this area of town tonight. There's a home behind me. It's very dark. It's hard to see exactly what's going on, but we can definitely see that there are pretty big chunks of the roof missing. There's also a pretty expansive yard off to our side here. There's a lot of land, and I did see there was a car that appeared to be on its side in the yard. There's lots of debris that we're standing on here. There's definitely lots of wood everywhere. And then there's a big thicket of trees that's off to the side here. And if Merlin, if you point over here, you can see what some of that looks like. So I was told that there's other portions of Canadian County that do have some down power lines and power poles right now. There's a portion of Banner Road that's closed because of that right now. Again, there was definitely some strong damage that happened here this evening. It looks like there's already emergency crews, emergency responders. We saw a fire engine that passed down this street just about maybe in the last 15 minutes or so. And we actually have another emergency vehicle, Merlin, that's going to come up here from the south end. And you can see that that's coming up over the horizon. So again, there's already been a pretty quick response with folks. We've seen what looks like volunteers even coming out, neighbors checking on folks, making sure everyone's okay. So far, we've not heard of any injuries, and we've not heard of anything more than that. But of course, if we hear otherwise, we'll be sure to let you know. Lacey, back to you.
Okay, great report there, Matt. Thank you so much. I know you guys are going out, seeing what you can find, and it's difficult. It's dark right now. A lot of the folks in that region, a lot of the area is without power. We know we have damage there. And
Nick coming up on right now. Is that Nick or is that Michael? Who's? Stand by. Let me go. Let's see here. That's Nick.
Yeah, it's at the Fort Smith.
Okay, let me go out to Nick right now. Nick, what's going on here?
Yeah, all right, so Damon, this is where I-40 goes underneath I-35 when you're heading over to the crosstown where I-35 just kind of jogs when you're going southbound on I-35, and it kind of jogs over to onto I-40, and then you can go back south on I-35. There's a truck. Now, we're going to see it here in just a second. Stay with me just for a second. There's a truck that it appears that it jumped over the wall, and you're going to see it. It is, wow, that is amazing. Wow, I mean, I don't know how this happened. This is a very, wow. I mean, that truck is a good probably 15 feet, 16 feet in the air. There, and I mean, it's just suspended. We're gonna pull over up here, and we're gonna get a better shot of it. I'm not sure if they got the driver out, but it looks like the truck. But I mean, you can see it right there. I mean, you can see it is just suspended, and it's hanging on by the front tires on it. Back to you.
Holy cow! Wow. Okay. And again, these are just some of the pictures that are coming in right now. You know, the storm came through here about an hour and a half, and so, you know, our crews go out just a little bit, then they come across, you know, damage, and then they come across more damage. But that right there, that's coming in from Nick Smith right now, currently basically just southeast of downtown. The tornado warning that we have, that is going to be out near Woods. Been watching the area of rotation with this cell, and so it's still spinning right now, southwest of Hopeton, west of Tacoma, southeast of Avard, and the northeast of Winoka. It's not as tight, but it's still there, headed towards Hopeton and Tacoma. And so still got to get ready, Tacoma. You don't have to go into your shelter yet. We'll let you know. Again, technically Tacoma's not in the tornado warning. We'll see if this one's going to be extended to the east here. Let's see here. What's Nick saying right now? Okay, let's see here. Looks like they've increased the hail size in this storm, by the way, up to tennis balls. So this brand new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued, by the way, replaces the tornado warning, but is for baseballs, I believe. Baseballs in 70. Okay, let's go out to Nick. Nick, what do you see?
Yeah, so Damon, we had first heard that the driver was trapped, but actually he is being checked on by, and talking to it's in my shot there where the firefighters are. He's actually being checked on by the firefighter team, and I'm sure they're probably talking about what happened, but it looks like he's standing up, he's okay, but that was I mean, that was a wild ride. I can't imagine what all happened in that moment. But this is one reason, you know, definitely just want to take it easy whenever the storms like this come in. And man, I'm just glad to see. It looks like he's doing okay there. So back to you.
Okay, and wow, you know, what a scary situation there. So an update on the radar, by the way, is that the tornado warning has been dropped for Alva, but was replaced with a very large hail threat here and 70-mile-an-hour winds. Tennis, baseball size hail, and 70-mile-an-hour winds. That is a big storm. So looking downstream for Medford, Newkirk, Ponca City, what we're going to be looking for is to see if this atmosphere across far northern Oklahoma can get worked over enough to where this storm can weaken as it moves east. Because looking out towards Medford and Ponca City and out across far northern Oklahoma, this is a bad storm. This is a big-time storm. That's the last thing we want to see. So here we are now, 11:31. We don't have any tornado warnings out there any longer. Doesn't mean we can't get more. And so we're going to continue to watch it, but our news crews are continuing to gather information from these storms tonight. I want to send it over to the news desk. Mecca Rain, you have an update.
Yeah, Damon, of course, we have our crews out all over. We talked to KOCO's Dakota Wapakichi just a little while ago. We also have KOCO's Colby Terrell out in the metro. Colby, we want to toss it to you. Tell us exactly where you are and what damage you've come across.
Mecca, we're about a mile or so west of the airport right now here near McGee Street and Newcastle Road. If you look behind me, you can see some down power lines. Now, the family that lives right here next to it told us that that line that you see on the ground now was sparking and glowing red for about an hour. Now, they called 911 and fire showed up, and it was actually still sparking and glowing while they were here, but it has fallen down since then. It looks like right now they're waiting for power companies to come through and clear them, make sure they're good. Everything is there's no fires or anything right now, though, but that house that you see behind the wire, I haven't gotten to talk to them, but they do actually, even if you can look in their windows, they actually have power inside. So the little minor here, and the family says nothing that they were worried about. They just wanted to make sure fire got out here. They did say they felt like there was a little more stuff up north. So we're going to head up there now and see what we can find and get back to you guys. In Oklahoma City, Colby Terrell, KOCO 5 News.
And Colby, in this situation, from what you understand, no one was injured. Is that correct?
Nope, nobody injured, everybody good. The family's just out here waiting for a fire and kind of watching things unfold.
Okay. Colby, thank you so much. We want to get it back to Chief Meteorologist Damon Lane. And Damon, as you said, no more.
So let me just keep watching this area, Lacey, and see if anything happens. We've got her out, which we can go back behind us to Carmen. And it's very difficult, of course, because you're out here in the lightning trying to see a silhouette of something, and no power line flashes to go by. So we've got the wall cloud, and we're watching it. Back to you, Lacey.
Great update there, Marty. He's looking right now, not seeing anything pronounced or really well defined as far as circulation goes. Let's go back to radar, and I'll show you what Marty's seeing. All the lightning flashes. There's a lot of lightning with this storm. It is very electric. Probably going to lose power in several areas downwind or downline from this storm, just from some of the lightning within it and the wind gusts, because the winds could be 65, 70, may have a couple gusts to 80 within this complex that is moving. But you'll notice the hail core has weakened with it, and the circulation is stretched out. But Marty's right there. If it starts to do anything crazy, you can see the storm south of Winchester heading to Alva. That could have some quarter-size hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds with that. And you're getting just a tremendous amount of rain in Woods County that's moving over into Alfalfa County. So that's the strongest storm in the state. What does the storm strength look like with this one now, Cassie? Because it looks like all indications on radar, it's weakening some. It was pegging the scale, and it's come down a couple of ticks. It's still severe. It's still a strong storm. And that's why Marty's there, and that's why we're still on, because that's a strong storm for sure and has to be watched very closely. While we're showing this, is it possible to show some of that tornado video just to give folks kind of an update of what we've had today? We'll talk about some of the tornado video from Tom Pastrano, Val Castor, Jeremy Carter, Hank, Brandon, any of them, just let me know what we've got. Well, I know where that is. That is south of El Reno. That's Canadian County. That was earlier this evening from Jeremy Carter. Jeremy was just a few hundred yards from that tornado. That is debris being picked up and lofted from that tornado, just so clear cut. Jeremy was right there in the right position, unfortunately, to show you that view of the tornado. He was starting to see the power flashes, and then boom, and that thing started to lift to the north. It was moving to the northeast, and then it started to lift to the north before it weakened. It looked like it was going to cross I-40. Did not do that. It looked like it lifted to me before it made it to I-40, but that was doing damage as it was coming through Canadian County. So far, have not heard of reports of any injuries. Our news desk has been checking. Matt McCabe, our reporter, is there in Canadian County. That stovepipe tornado, what a wicked-looking view from Jeremy Carter from earlier this evening. That is video from Val and Amy Castor. That was Val and Amy Castor of the very large tornado. Look at the movement. That is not sped up. That was live near Custer City, west of Custer City in Custer County as that was approaching Custer City. That one also eventually lifted to the north, but Val and Amy Castor were tracking that live, looking at it from the west, looking back to the east as it was moving very, very slowly. That storm, as it anchored and produced that large tornado, was moving at a snail's pace. And again, no injuries reported there in Custer County. So just a miracle today. It really is when you get the tornadoes like we've had. That's the rain wrapping around that. We had another shot from Tom Pastrano, who was on that tornado.
Out across northern Oklahoma. We're still dealing with the threat of severe weather, and our PDS severe thunderstorm watch, which is still in effect for about another 23 minutes. We'll see if there's going to be an extension of that or not. But northern Oklahoma, we are still watching it right now. Newsroom, let me know which reporters I have to toss to right now, because I'm going to need to. I know our reporters are out on some damage, but right now, again, we've been showing you trucks that have been basically kind of on their side there. That's what Nick is going to be on down here on the bottom left, and so still watching these storms again out across northern Oklahoma. Is Nick Smith available? Let me go out to Nick and get an update right now from Nick and see Nick, what do you see right now?
Yeah, Damon, I'm right now I am trying to pull back up to the scene of that accident. Bob King might be by it, but because we're bringing in some wreckers, I had to kind of move a little bit. So I'm trying to reposition to get you a better shot of that, what's going on and everything. So I'll be back there in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Okay, and so all right. That picture right there, that report there coming in from Nick Smith. Okay, so severe thunderstorm warning has been dropped. This one right here for Garfield County, that was allowed to expire. So now we are working one warning.
That's Val and Amy Castor, and that was Amy screaming as their vehicle rolled. So they are okay. That was very difficult to watch. Val and Amy are okay. And Amy has been texting with Cassie, and I don't think they were even going to the hospital because they did not have indications that they needed to. And their daughter lives here in town and was going to pick them up. But I know so many folks saw that happen live, and we lost their stream, and it was horrifying for a few minutes not knowing what happened. But now we know they are okay, and they hydroplaned, and that happens. And what they do is life-saving for so many folks, but they put themselves at risk. And to my knowledge, they've never been in an accident while chasing. And so tonight, they were being protected and looked over, no doubt. So very thankful that they are okay. And we'll bring you updates as we have them on Val and Amy for sure. So that's what happened earlier tonight. And we have thunderstorms that are still ongoing that are severe in the northwest. Marty Logan is there. I'm told Matt McCabe has another update from Canadian County where the tornado touched down that Val and Amy were on, south of El Reno. So if Matt is ready, we'll go out to him and get an update because he's surveying the damage. He's just getting there and going through the damaged path of where we know that tornado went. That was on the ground for several minutes. I think it was about 5 to 10 minutes. I don't recall the exact time frame. But if we have Matt, we can check with him and see, control room. Just let me know. I think they're working on it. Okay, while they're doing
does earlier, but these storms are still impactful. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning for Garfield County has been dropped. It's going to fall off the radar here in about 5 minutes or so. This one that you can see here still has the destructive tag on it. It was given that because of the winds, 70 miles per hour, and the hail. The hail is big inside this thing. Again, baseball to tennis balls from Alva moving across northern Oklahoma. What we're hoping is going to happen here, again, is that all of this that you see from Pond Creek to Medford, Ponca City up to Blackwell, that all of this rain right here will just mess up the atmosphere to where once this storm begins to move in towards around Medford or so, it doesn't have much left to work with, and this too begins to decrease in intensity. But like we have seen all throughout the entire day here, that it hasn't gone that way yet. And so
Side door, or maybe the tailgate. I think that's the tailgate of a pickup that we're looking at right there, Lacey. So again, we've almost kind of, it looks like a line of damage that we're looking at when we look at all these trees that they're just blown over in a straight line right here. And again, on the other side of Cimarron Road here, so if we turn around, again, there's a house that's in the distance over here. Again, this is a very dark road. You see a lot of flashing emergency lights right now. This is the only house we've seen so far that has significant damage to it. Again, we know that there's some power poles, some electrical lines that are also down right now. In fact, there's a utility truck that's actually driving through right now. There's an OG&E truck that's already coming through. So again, that response is pretty quick and pretty immediate and everything. Folks trying to make sure everybody's okay. I talked to a Canadian County deputy. I asked them, I said, have you heard of any injuries? And they said, as of right now, they have not. Of course, all of that is subject to change at any time. But we're going to stay out here and learn what's what, and we'll bring you the next update as soon as we have it. Lacey, back to you.
You're doing a wonderful job out there just surveying the damage and coming across it and just talking about it live. He doesn't know what he's going to come across and doesn't know what he's going to find next, but continuing to find significant damage there in Canadian County. And so he'll stay out there, and we'll continue to bring you these updates to show you the storm. The supercell fired up in Canadian, Texas, came into Roger Mills County, quickly severe and tornadic, and produced multiple tornadoes along its trek, merged with several storms over Oklahoma County, and then completely fizzled out. Look at that, completely went away as it moved towards Shawnee and fell apart. Still a couple showers and storms going on in Lincoln County, and we still have numerous storms across north central Oklahoma. They're low end severe for most locations. Strongest storm is over Woods County, where Marty Logan is located. Not tornadic at the moment. Probably produced a couple of tornadoes earlier. We were on that, but we'll continue to keep you advised. We're watching these storms closely. Our trackers are still out. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back. Stay with News 9. We'll keep you advised.
Dose visibly improves volume
Down
loss.
towards east of Winoka, northwest of Carmen, west of Cherokee. This is a big storm here. All the other storms that you see ahead of it, from Wakita to Pond Creek and out towards Medford, looks really bright, really vibrant on the radar right now. These are not at least severe in the sense of damaging hail or strong winds. But this one right here, we still got to watch it, because just like all the other storms, you know, that we've seen so far today, they kind of go up, they hang around for a bit, and all of a sudden, just when it looks like the tornado threat is gone, all of a sudden it picks back up again. And so I got to watch the storm just for a while here until it looks like the tornado risk is gone, because the dynamics for the atmosphere today are still there. While there may be a cap in play here, and the risk for severe weather is now basically shifting out across far northern Oklahoma. This storm right here, moving to the east. Let me get an update here on just how fast this is moving to the east. I do believe, let's see here, this is going to be moving to the east at 25 miles per hour. So let me track this to the east at 25 miles per hour. That will bring it in towards around Cherokee, Jet, Nescatunga, and the Great Salt Plains Lake. Let me go out to Shane Helton. Shane's going to be west of Stillwater, going up north on I-35. Shane, what do you see?
So, Damon, we're actually approaching the storm right now that's not even severe, as far as I know, unless it just went severe. But it's got quite a bit of lightning. It looks like it's probably got a little bit of hail in it. We have not started punching the core yet. We're actually heading to the storm north of it, but this little storm is actually coming together, see this act together, because the lightning is really increasing as I know we're heading north towards it, but it seems like the lightning is increasing in the storm. So we're watching this storm as we're going to go past it here. If it looks like it's going to do something, we may have to stop and keep an eye on this storm. But other than that, we're heading up I-35 and we're heading to northern Oklahoma. David, back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking up inside of these storms out across northern Oklahoma, and I know you see arrows going all over the place because all of these little cores here are going all over the place here. But this storm right here, that is going to be just west of Tacoma. Look how tall it is, almost 50,000 feet. Right now, hail size, 2 inches. That's the size of a lime. With that one right there, that storm right there, as it continues to move to the east. This warning is set to expire at 12:15. It is currently 11:45. So we're still watching this one right now. Looking at the winds inside of it. Let me see here. Let me just look at the rotation. There have been some areas of rotation, but not nearly what it was when it was west. So right now, I would say the strongest area of spin would be just south of Tacoma and northwest of Carmen. Still moving to the east here. A little bit of an inflow coming in on this cell. Now, you'll notice with this warning, it's listed as destructive because of the hail that was up inside of it. It's warned for tennis to baseball size hail. It's a big hail, by the way. So Tacoma, Alva, as you go east of Hopeton, this area right here, lots of hail. And that hail even extends all the way out west of Alva. So Alva, you're still looking at least a hailstorm here. Let me look at what the impact is inside of here, just to get an idea as where the largest hail is. There are going to be 2 hail cores. They don't look like, at least at this moment, like they are what they were before. Right now, it looks like we're getting about $half size hail. That would be your 1.5-inch size hail from Tacoma and then out towards Cora. So these storms continue. And for the most part, again, if you're watching out across northern Oklahoma, I know you have a lot of noise. It's going to be a stormy night here. But all in all, the intensity of the storms will likely remain confined. The strongest of the storms will likely remain confined across far northern Oklahoma. Let me show you the big picture right here. Looks like a brand new severe thunderstorm watch. Let me just get the latest on here. It looks like we just had a brand new watch issued. This could be a small watch for Garfield K and Noble County, and this goes until 6 a.m. So brand new. It's a small watch here. So let me plot it up here visually just so y'all can see, because it looks like we canceled a watch, then we had a new one that was issued. I believe this is gonna be the old one that we have. Okay, so what we're looking at right here. Okay, so we're working basically one watch. Let's see here. One watch now. It's going to be across, it's 3 counties. It's going to be K, Noble. Let me just double check that real quick. Hold on. This is Garfield, K, and Noble. And Payne. I'm sorry. So Payne, Garfield, K, and Noble County. Severe thunderstorm watch goes until 6 a.m. to mainly take into account these storms that we have right here out across northern Oklahoma. Let me check in real quick. I'm going to go out to Storm Command. Michael, watching these storms, brand new severe thunderstorm watch has been added, or has just been issued till pretty early in the morning for another 6 hours, Michael. Give us an update from Storm Command and what you see. Okay, we'll get Michael back on here in just a moment. Again, you can see Michael here. He's set up in the northern Oklahoma. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to continue to watch these storms. We'll come back to you in the next little bit with these storms as they continue to track across northern Oklahoma. Right now, the worst of the storms that we have right now will be northeast of Winoka. Okay, Michael, let me go back out to Michael. Michael, looks like the watch, they just issued a brand new watch until 6 a.m. What do you see from Storm Command, Michael?
Yeah, a problem is the low-level jet continues, Damon. You saw all that instability. So even if the cap increases, you get these storms that form up above the cap, and they can still become severe. So, that's going to take it well into the morning hours for sure. But right now, looking at the heavy rain threat, some hail, but nothing real significant that I'm seeing as far as radar shows right now. But with as organized as that complex is, and there seems to be maybe even kind of in what we call an MCV, kind of a low pressure area up around Alva, driving all of that. If that low pressure area continues to be quite strong, and it looks like these storms may still continue for a while. Thankfully, they're not as intense as what they were earlier. That we see that indicated by just the one severe thunderstorm warning. However, it looks like to me the storm that's kind of developing around Pond Creek and Kremlin, just north of Enid, that one's gaining some strength a little bit. So keep an eye on it.
Yeah, we certainly will be keeping an eye on that. A lot of these storms that we have out across northern Oklahoma do have some areas of embedded hail. And as I put our impact graphic on here, if you just look at the hail sizes, so this is the one that Michael was just referring to over by Pond Creek. Hail sizes going up in this one. This one out west of Cherokee Carmen, this right here was warned for tennis ball size hail. And then there's another hail core right now that is going to be west of Alva. So at the moment, we are tracking a bunch of hailers out across northern Oklahoma. But for many of us, we've kind of done kind of a little bit of a switch on our severe thunderstorm watch. So basically, the severe thunderstorm watch that was set to expire at midnight was already dropped. And then a new severe thunderstorm watch was either issued or extended. So Alfalfa, Grant, Major, Woods, that's the severe thunderstorm watch that we have until midnight. And then the new severe thunderstorm watch was just issued for those in Payne, Garfield, Kay, and Noble here. Let me see if I can plot that for y'all visually here. But basically, if you are out across extreme northern Oklahoma, you have a severe thunderstorm watch. And this watch is going to be in effect and will remain in effect until 6 a.m. to account for these storms that are moving to the east here. Right now, let me get an update on the speed of this cell. That's going to be out by Alva and Helena, just so y'all can kind of get an idea. If you're in Ponca City, and you know that this storm is moving to the east, let's see here. It is moving to the east at 25 miles per hour. So let me go ahead and track this all the way out into Ponca City, because that will be the last of it. Ponca City, we're still about 3 hours away from this making it to Ponca City. That's about 3 a.m. Before this will come through Ponca City. We'll have to see how intense it is as it runs across northern Oklahoma, but it still is a pretty intense storm here. Right now, we're about 7 minutes away from midnight. And so this warning, as you can see here, was given the destructive tag for the hail and the winds. It still has it.
Kind of pickup activity down here in the metro from all that heavy rain. Go, Eric.
Yeah, Mike. I'm over here at the I-35, I-40 interchange here. I've got a semi that has came off the embankment over here. It's sitting in the westbound turn, that big turn that comes around. You come out of Dell City, and it comes over here by the Reno area. It's just precariously sitting out there on the edge of that kind of a cliff there. It looks like it came off of the overpass, probably the eastbound of the overpass where it heads towards I-35 here. But we just pulled up on scene here, so we're going to try to gather a little bit more information on this and get back to you. Mike?
Is he blocking traffic at all, Eric?
That inside lane is blocked. People can pass on the outside lane there. So, I mean, it's slow go around here. The traffic wasn't backed up terribly too far, maybe probably 6 blocks or so. But, they do have a lane open through here so people can pass, but it is a slow go right now. And I don't know if there's any injuries right now, but I'm going to go check out, get a little bit more information on this and get back to you.
Okay, so again, the location on this is where?
I-40 in the I-35 interchange here would be like the Fort Smith Junction. This is going to be the westbound as you pass like Scott Street and you're heading west. Then you come around that bend, it's sitting precariously off of an embankment right here, kind of a concrete embankment. It looks like it came off of the overpass and fell down the embankment into the westbound traffic here on I-40. So,
is there a chance that could have been like a hydroplaning issue in the rain, Eric?
It's very possible that it was probably a high speed, probably coming around the corner a little too fast, hydroplaned. Looks like it came up over the embankment. So likely a hydroplaning issue, but that's what we suspect here. We're going to get a little further information on that.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much for that update. Again, that's going to be I-40 and I-35 interchange, the Fort Smith junction, basically, and one lane is blocked by a semi there that had some type of perhaps a hydroplaning incident during the heavy rain. Okay, here's northern Oklahoma. Let's go to Mike Bennett up there in the Enid area. He's been reporting on a lot of hail up there earlier. Mike, tell us what you got right now.
Okay, Mike. Yeah, we're sitting west of Enid. We're just kind of watching this storm that's up in Woods County, coming into Alfalfa County. We're just going to kind of watch this thing, see what it does. But like I said, the mesocyclone is weakened quite a bit. We're just going to kind of wait to see if it tightens up again, and as it passes to our north, and if it becomes tornado warned again, we'll be right there on it. Back to you.
Okay, very good. This is going to be northern Oklahoma, back over to radar. So he's referring to this activity coming through Alfalfa County. It's got some golf balls with it, winds up to about 70. Flooding rainfall. I mean, we're talking really good soaking rains up here. So this is good stuff as far as the rain is concerned. Flooding in flood-prone areas for sure. But there's a bunch of rain. Grant County, Kay County, Noble County, Garfield County, pockets of hail in through here, dimes, peas and dimes. And then you got quarters to occasional near golf balls coming into Alfalfa County out of Woods County. But those mesocyclones have spun down, and maybe they've spun down for the rest of the night. That's why there are no tornado warnings. There's no tornado watches. There's just a severe thunderstorm watch and one severe thunderstorm warning, Alfalfa County in particular, for you folks up around Helena, Gulch, Jet, Nash, and Cherokee. So there goes the big storm as it came through Oklahoma City. It's now history, so we're in good shape there. Stay with News 4. We'll keep you forewarned.
Be forewarned before the storm.
Back to Links 1. Let me show you a few other storms that are east of here that I know you're hearing, and it's nighttime, and I know these storms are loud, and after seeing the tornadoes we've had today, a lot of folks may be staying up just wondering what these storms are doing. So nothing is tornadic right now or showing signs of producing a tornado, but from Lamont to Pond Creek to Billings, thunderstorms there, trying to develop a little bit of a hook. Let's look at that storm south of Garber. Let's zoom in from Garber to Covington to Red Rock and turn on velocity and just see what the winds are doing in this area. There's a lot of rain, cold air. It's really stable off to the east, but these are supercells. They're storms that are trying to spin, nothing tight, nothing too ominous or threatening, saying, hey, this is going to produce a tornado. But winds in here, 45 to 50. They're very electric. There's a lot of lightning and thunder within this and could at times have some nickel and dime size hail. So let's go back to reflectivity and just kind of get the broad view here. The storms run from Morrison to Glencoe, Agra, Lincoln County. Heavy thunderstorm there. That's going, and also a new storm south of Wellston. This is all tracking to the east. And not severe with the exception of the storm up to the northwest. So one more time, we'll zoom it in for folks in northwestern Oklahoma. We're watching it. We're not going anywhere. Intense lightning, which may give you some power bumps or knock out your power from Cherokee to Tacoma to Carmen and Alva. That storm back to the west of Alva is going to come right through town, right along Highway 64 with some wind and hail. So we're not going anywhere. We're tracking it. That severe storm's the strongest in the state. Stay with News 9. We'll keep you advised.
Did you play?
First base. That's where Grandma used to play.